Good afternoon. It is 3:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from Geodis Park for the Big Orange Caravan. In NFL news today, the NFL has confirmed that the Falcons have been fined $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft after his son Jax accessed and prank called a phone number that belonged to Shedeur Sanders. The deadline to pick up a fifth-year option for the 2022 first-rounders is tomorrow, and the Titans will probably not pick up wide receiver Treylon Burks, according to Chad Brinker. Also, former Florida State and Jets quarterback Jordan Travis announced he is medically retiring from football. Travis, who helped lead FSU to a 13-0 season in 2023 before suffering a gruesome knee injury late in that season. He was a fifth-round pick by the Jets last year. Also, in Tennessee basketball news, French shooting guard Clarence Masamba has committed to Tennessee basketball. He averaged 9.8 points, 2.8 rebounds per game on the AC Monaco under-21 team this past season. Previously played 2 years at the Rock School in Florida. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Wednesday means what, Slay Dog?
That means get update.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was an extended hump day.
Shout out to Babsy since she's not here.
Babsy is on assignment. She is covering beach volleyball down in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Don't that sound fun?
You'll be able to check her out on ESPN2 on Friday and Saturday.
And I'm on right, Babsy, because all she's been talking about is, I need to tan. I need to tan. Well,
No, she gonna burn.
the business that sent you down there, the mouse sent you down there, you better take advantage of it.
What did Public Enemy say? Burn, Hollywood, burn. She's
No,
gonna
it's not
burn. She was
not
talking about
burn.
yesterday how white she is.
See, and I wasn't even here. I'm knowing. She's been talking about this for weeks.
When you go from white to Gulf Shore sun all day for 3 days,
Burn me up.
burn.
Well, she better put some nice little, what is it, S10 or something?
She said she was going to use 100.
What's S10 is a truck though.
F10 is a truck.
S10 is.
S10 is, yeah.
What's the sunscreen though? 60?
I use
30,
50
60.
if I get out there.
Oh, they're in 10s?
And if I'm really white and until I get a little base going, then I go down from
Are you
that.
thinking
But
of SPF?
SPF.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I
that's
think you're
what
thinking of SPF, not
Yeah.
S.
So
I'm
you go from
literally asking questions that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
You'd make an awful attorney.
I'm just saying.
my mom was a lawyer. She was like, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Just get the other guy to say it. But no, I go from 50 to 30. But she said she's going to 100. I don't even know if they make 100.
Yeah, maybe she's gonna put 250s.
They definitely do make 100.
They do?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, well, she can put 100 and a 50 together to get 100.
Well, so my question, Slay, was what does she wear to broadcast beach volleyball?
That's a good question right there, because you don't want to be over there just steaming hot.
Well, she told me.
Oh, what?
So she wears, she's going to wear tennis. She's done it once before, but it was in 2019. So she said she's going to wear tennis shoes because the sand is really hot.
I don't know
You
about that
remember,
one,
because like you and Savage go down to like the Destin area sometimes, and like those first steps off the wooden plank,
Scorching.
it's like 100 yards.
Yep.
You got to run.
Yep.
I mean, run.
Yep.
And so she's going to wear shoes for that. But then she said she'll wear a skort, like a golf skort.
Yeah, okay.
And then ESPN gave them polos.
Oh, well, I wonder, Babs like to show the gun sometimes. I wonder if hers the cutoff polo.
Yeah, I don't know.
She should, I got a method to create a cutoff polo.
You do?
Yeah, you bite it at the seams.
You bite it at the seams.
Yeah, and then you rip it. Once you get that little hole, you rip it. They give you the woo.
Can't you use scissors?
Yeah, that's weak. You gotta bite them. You gotta bite your sleeves off, Yorl.
I hear you. Bite your sleeves off, Yorl. That's going on the 3HL bingo card right now. We're going to have a lot of entries, I think, today, because you are refreshed coming off of you were on assignment yesterday, and I was going to let everyone know what you were up to, and then you tweeted where you were last night.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would call it refreshed after the adventure I was on, but yeah. something like that. But I had a great time, man. Went down to see the Grand National Tour. Kendrick Lamar and SZA were performing at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I forgot about the SZA element to that. How was
Man, it was dope.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the best concerts I've seen next to, and I'm just saying production-wise and everything.
Yeah,
I
like
did
from
get an
a show
opportunity.
standpoint. Yeah.
I think about 3 years ago maybe, I got an opportunity to go in Vegas to see Lil Baby and Chris Brown, which Chris Brown is by itself is even just mind-blowing. But this was better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the
Especially
stadium
in
and
his
how packed it
hometown.
was. Like,
Yeah.
this was
So
this
it was in
nuts.
Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, in the Mercedes-Benz, like fireworks, the full.
So you're talking
gamut.
about like 60, 70,000 people.
Easy.
Whew.
Easy.
Can you imagine how much I would love to see the gate receipts?
I can't imagine.
How
cannot
much were
imagine.
tickets? You want to say?
We found some.
Expensive?
We found some around 400. And we was 16 rows up, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. And we were on the side. Like, it was some down in the front. The way the stage was set up, you had the stage, the main stage, and then the
Coming up on the main stage.
the jumbotrons the screens running up. I would say 60 to 70 feet in the air. And then it came out into a diamond where they could walk out into the crowd and perform for different sections of the crowd, which was pretty dope. But man,
So if the average ticket price was 300, let's say,
yeah,
times 60,000, we'll say 60,000,
but it was probably every bit of 70.
18 million.
Yeah, he ain't playing around. But you know what I wonder too? What he spent on the show.
Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
man,
Yeah.
it was.
Hey,
man,
cost of
people
doing business, man.
Oh man, it was live, dog. I'm telling you, you get an opportunity to go see it. Go see it. I know they're in Charlotte Friday, but man, I would if they were coming to Nashville, I'd go see him again. It was that
Like
dope.
me and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I would travel around with him. Yep. Well, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar
I saw
fan. So.
the 2020 Experience concert 3 times.
Yeah, and I don't think nothing wrong with that, yo. Chris Brown is another one I probably would go see that many times.
Yeah. I always say I'm the only straight man in Nashville that saw that tour 3 times.
I probably would concur with that.
By the way, speaking of entertainment, happy belated birthday to Willie Nelson, who turned 92 yesterday.
Oh, man.
There's still videos of him like jamming with people. At 91, he just turned 92.
Man, listen, roll up a doobie and get to Willie.
Right?
Yeah, that's all he looking for. He ain't looking for, like, the older generation, they know what I'm talking about. Get him a doobie, a fat doobie. Sit him
That's
back
all
there
he
with
needs.
That's all he going to come up with plenty of songs.
Some people need, like a drink. Some people need, like, give me some food. Some people, like Willie, just, him and Snoop Dogg became buzz.
Get tight. They know to get tight together.
Kendrick Lamar. That's amazing.
Dope, man.
You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Thank you, Zeph. Evan and Bank Chat is open. You can communicate there. Y'all have been so active the last couple weeks in that chat, man, and we really appreciate that. All right, let's set the stage. We are broadcasting live today from Geodis Park. This is the first time 3HL has ever done a show at Geodis Park.
And it is everything as advertised.
How phenomenal. Let's start with the pitch out there. How phenomenal is that setup?
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I've seen some, listen, being able to go play in Europe professionally, you get to go to a lot of different stadiums and, well, you had
a full European soccer experience.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to correct that too. You're forced to go to these stadiums because that's what we do the preseason and we do our conditioning on the inside of the pitch.
Yeah.
And it is treacherous when you're doing that with the sun beaming down. But this right here rivals plenty of those stadiums over there. I'll give them their love, man.
So coming up, the reason why we're here is the Big Orange Caravan is here today. So they were in Memphis yesterday. They're going to be here today. So we'll have all the UT dignitaries. We'll have Josh Heupel, Kim Caldwell, Rick Barnes, Danny White, all in the show in the 5 o'clock hour. Mike Keith, the voice of the Tennessee Vols,
ain't that something? Will
join us live here at 4:45. So we'll start it with Mike Keith at 4:45, and then we'll roll a bunch of those people in and out, and Zeph will take care of all that. And it'll be fun to talk with Rick Barnes. We've got a couple of new players to talk about. Abram coming in from Louisiana Tech, can shoot the 3, handle the ball, can be kind of the de facto backup point guard, I guess. And then you just had the, as Zeph said, Clarence Massamba from France. coming in as well. So we'll be able to get Rick Barnes' first comments on him. But anxious to talk with him about the five-star stud Nate Ament back to the Elite Eight. Like, how does he keep finding the energy to keep coming back year after year? And I was thinking about this morning. I wonder if part of that, Slay, is the turnover of roster. Because every year is so different and new and exciting, and, maybe that keeps you going a little bit.
Yeah, and probably with the guys that are remaining to be able to retain some of that, you don't want to just walk out on them guys, especially a guy like Estrella who's given so much, and he had to go out with an injury. You're like,
waited,
agreed.
Tennessee and Duke, the only two programs in the Power Four to not have a player enter the transfer portal. How about that?
That's saying that dog in this.
Right.
That's saying a whole lot.
Yep.
Whole lot. Wow.
Kim Caldwell, first year at Tennessee, 24 wins. She goes to the Sweet 16. She gives birth. Like, how did she balance having a baby in the middle of a season and coaching basketball? Because moms out there listening right now, y'all understand how hard that is, even if you're not trying to balance work and things like that. But I mean, she's not only balancing work, she's trying to make the tournament and all those things. So can't wait to talk with her. Josh Heupel, of course, with the Nico situation. We'll talk with him. Here's another stat I came across today. I was just thinking about. They've won 30 games in the last 3 years. Last time Tennessee has done that in football, 1998 to 2000. Wow. So 25 years. So we'll talk with Josh. And we'll ask him about what he saw from Jake Merklinger, George McIntyre. He can comment on Joey Aguilar now. So we'll ask him all that. Danny White talking about the health of Tennessee athletics. National champions in baseball, Elite Eight, Sweet 16 in basketball, softball, one of the best teams in the country, football in the playoffs. Neyland Stadium sold out for the third consecutive year. So Danny White, ever the showman and marketer. And very good at what he does. So we'll talk with all those guys coming up today. Also, Todd Furman at 420. We'll talk about now that the draft is over, have things changed in terms of how Vegas is looking at NFL teams coming up for the 2025 season. Were the Titans affected with their draft class? We'll ask him about the Kentucky Derby as well. And then coming up next, Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. He'll offer his take on the Titans draft picks. That's next, 3HL, broadcasting live from Geodis Park. Big Orange Caravan Day today on 104.5 The Zone. I want to tell you about my friends at United Structural Systems. They're going to be your friends, too, if you have foundation repair issues, waterproofing needs. United Structural Systems there for you. Concrete leveling as well. United Structural Systems, a foundation and repair and waterproofing company that has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. You can check them out online while I talk with you about them. USSTN.com, USSTN.com. This is the time of year, man. We've had a lot of rain. We're going to get a lot more rain as we roll through the summer months, and you may have some waterproofing issues. Maybe you have standing water in your crawl space. Maybe you have cracks in your basement floor. Hardwood floors cupping. Your house may be trying to tell you something. Putting off a moisture issue in your home is bad for your health and could lead to more expensive repairs down the road. Use my friends at USSTN.com. More than 30,000 100% satisfied residential customers, and when USS comes out to your home, you're getting problem solvers who provide peace of mind to their customers, the homeowner. You're not getting someone who's worried about meeting a sales quota or upselling the next big thing, but someone there to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home and get the work done. Homeowners trust USS. USS, keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. USS, serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online at USSTN.com.
What's happening, y'all? You know, it's a lot of construction going on out here, especially right here in Nashville, Tennessee. But in Tennessee, period, it's always growing. So the big trucks are always moving. And when those trucks get to moving, you got to keep that head on the swivel. Because if you don't keep that head on the swivel, boom, It could hit you out of nowhere, man. And then everything's thrown off. And then you got to go out here and fight with these big truck companies. And it's difficult to do, man. 80,000-pound truck collides with the regular car. That's not a fair fight. What else isn't a fair fight? That's what you should be asking yourself. You versus the insurance companies. You better believe trucking companies have teams of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible. All right, now let's get to it. This is where Bart Dorm Injury Law comes in. 615-242-9000. Get over there, holler at Blair Dorm and his team because they know how to take on trucking companies, and they fight for the compensation that you deserve. They've been standing up for people in our community for decades, making sure big corporations don't get away with cutting corners. 615-242-9000. Bart Dorm Injury Law, protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid.
HL 1045 The Zone, broadcasting live today from Geodis Park, home of Nashville SC. We are here today for the Big Orange Caravan. They're getting set up here. Got a lot of orange and white balloons with a big lit-up Vols sign over there.
I love how they do that sign.
I know. You need one for the Boom Boom Room.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I needed to be a little smaller though. It could go under my big TV.
Yes.
Oh my God.
By the way, it's you can see a picture of it on my Instagram feed in my story. Brent Doherty, 3HL. Yeah, so coming up today, Mike Keith will join us at 4:45, and then all the coaches and the AD through the 5 o'clock hour. So we'll do all that UT stuff at that point. Going to talk some Titans football now. Coach Mack joins us as he does every Wednesday at 3:20. Thanks to our friends at Two Rivers Ford. Coach Mack, how are you?
Hey, Brent, Ron Slay, I know that Don's volleyballing somewhere, but you guys got to be in heaven with all the Vols for life that are going to be there. That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to hang with our people.
Yeah, man, anytime we get to be around the Vols, other Vols, man, you always love that.
You two guys are two perfect guys to be conducting all of that going on down there. Tell Mike Keith, Coach Mack said hello.
We'll definitely do that. So I'm curious from a post-draft perspective. Obviously, rookie minicamp's coming up the end of next week. But like, how big of a deep breath moment is it once you get through the draft?
Yeah, it is. It really is. First of all, during the draft, I was really happy that you guys were down there. You guys added a lot to it, especially upstairs when the draft was being. The atmosphere was really great at that draft party, and it was great that all three of you guys were there. You added a lot to it. There's always a lot of energy with a draft, and then when you take a quarterback number one, it gives everybody a kind of a little bit of a new lease on life, and so that was very exciting. Now, I mean, it was all work, and as much work as Rhett and I do on the draft, getting ready, and we're not drafting anybody, but we want to have at least information on people that are taken throughout the draft, so that we can have continuous flow on our days of draft coverage. I mean, I felt very, very good about that. But once it's over, I mean, it's like you plan for a big event. I mean, we've all been basically talking about it for 3.5 months, and then all of a sudden it happens. But now the next important part comes. It's letting these guys come together, and then the process begins on the field, in the meeting rooms, all of that stuff. But it is a big exhale. But it's the train that the National Football League is. It doesn't stop. You guys know that.
Yep.
So I mean, next week I'll be right back up there, watching phase one of minicamp, and then watching the rookie camp, and then jumping right back into it. But it's a little bit of a reprieve from just all the research that you have to do if you're going to do the draft correctly.
Well, we all knew that Cam Ward was going to go overall number one, and he did. And we did a show Friday from 6th and Peabody, and he came, and the fans were there, Coach Mack, and they were very excited. You want to talk about energy, man, in that room. And then, talking to people after our conversation with Cam Ward, they're filled with hope with this kid, man. And, I mean, the confidence level of him is definitely not an arrogant thing. People like to kind of compare those things or try to find some gray area there. It's not that. It's a humble confidence. But this kid offers that, man, hope.
Yeah, well, see, you guys have gotten to talk to him. I mean, Amy Wells got to talk to him. I've never talked to him. He probably won't for quite a while. It's good that you guys got to, and you guys are a pretty good, judge of at least people, because you've interviewed so many different athletes, throughout both of your careers. I mean, you can just tell if somebody's got that vibe about them, that they're all serious and they're about business. That's what I get from just listening to him and watching him talk. As I said, that's the thing I miss now about, not being in those rooms, after over 3 decades of doing it, really in person with these players, is you learn so much about them when you're able to talk to them. So you guys have got a really even a better perspective than I do as far as about him personally, because you've talked to him, and you guys have interviewed enough athletes in both of your careers and been around athletes at a high level that you would know whether some guy is at least putting off genuine vibes to begin with.
Coach Mack, walking into this draft, though, with having that number one, and after being able to hear him, not even just talk to him, but be able to hear his other conversations, his interviews, the brass for the Titans, the way they feel about him, what were your thoughts with him walking into this situation, walking in to be the conductor of this new
grounded.
offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's grounded, Ron. I mean, it sounds to me like he's as they say, where we all come from down in the South, he's raised right.
There you go.
I mean, he's got a perspective that is correct. I mean, it's not a whole bunch of flamboyance. It's business. It's business, and it's also the fact that he recognizes the immense opportunity that he has, but he has taken advantage of opportunities and really, had to have a real will to want to do it because, I mean, really worked hard just to get in, to Incarnate Word. When you hear that story about how hard he worked to get in there, and then what he did once he got in there, every increasing step that he's taken, he's excelled at it. And the other thing that he's done is everywhere that he's been in different environments, everybody that he's come in contact with has said the same thing. He's a leader. He's serious. We believe in him. We follow him. And that's important.
That is important.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL.
Now, moving away from him, you were able to go get an edge guy. I want to say his name correctly.
Oladejo.
Oladejo.
There you go, Coach Mack.
Right. You said it exactly right, Ron Slay. You're always exactly spot on.
Harold Landry moved on. Now you got to get Big Jeff and T. Sweat some help. Got to get Arden Key, somebody to kind of tutor, I guess, in the sense. What do you get with a guy like Ola?
Well, I mean, he's going to have to come in and earn his stripes in the National Football League. I mean, we all know his story. I mean, he moved from a behind the ball backer to. I mean, his skill set, transfers to the edge, and when you watch him and watch his physical capabilities, that's where you know that he's going to be the most valuable. And so, I mean, he's not a finished product at all. Now, let me just say this. Having done this for half of my adult life, boots on the ground with these players, none of them are a finished product when they come in the National Football League. They've all got a curve that they've got to learn on. But this guy's got, as far as for an edge guy, he's got strength. He's relentless. He's got explosion. He's going to have to develop, counter moves just like anybody coming in. I've been able in my life to vet and sign a lot of really great pass rushers that I've been involved with drafting, but they've all had to come in and learn counter moves requisite to what it's going to be in the National Football League against the better people they're going to play with. But he's going to get a real chance, and I think that this was a perfect place for him to come to because he's going to get a chance to not only improve very, very quickly, but get a chance to get his cleats on the grass pretty quick.
Kevin Wilson, the safety out of Penn State, Coach, prior to the season, a lot of people had him as a first-round talent. He tears his ACL, only plays 2 games, but he's going into month eight after the ACL surgery, so he should be good to go come training camp. What do you think about the skill set, the talent of Kevin Wilson?
I mean, you can't, I hear the narrative, well, he would have been a first. I mean, I just know watching him before. The thing I felt good about is we had information on all of these guys. I had vetted enough people that we had information on these guys, and I was put on him pretty early by other coaches I'd talked to in the league, and went back and watched prior to him being injured. And the other thing about his injury was, I mean, he felt a tweak. The story is he felt a tweak in his knee, but he went and tried to play the next week. And then you said, I just can't go. So it was a partial ACL tear. So he was really smart that he went ahead and got it done so that, it wouldn't really affect drastically, when the draft came around.
Okay.
This guy is what you're looking for back there. First of all, he's an excellent tackler. He's excellent angles. He's a thumper. He will come hit you, and this guy will give you some versatility back there in the back end. I'm not real good at prognosticating where somebody might have gone. I just know this: he's a really, really good football player that brings a level of physicality back there that we all want. That have been coaches in this league on defense. All of us want that.
Yeah, every day when I get up, Coach Mack, I feel that little tweak in my knee. I've been thinking about doing this.
And other things.
Yeah, all kind of tweaks.
Lower back, neck.
All right, Coach Mack, the receiver that we were able to go find, Almanor.
Okay.
Darn, there you go. I got it back.
You keep thinking of tough names.
Alec Io Manor.
That is Alec Io Manor.
Io Manor. Alec Io Manor. Combat catcher. He's got enough speed. Combat catcher. Really, really good at finding the open areas. And then, I mean, even if you once this quarterback and he get on the same page, you can throw it at pretty tight windows with him, and he's going to come down with it. I mean, and this guy was really a good player on a bad team. I mean, he had some quarterbacks, and again, I'm not disparaging anybody. I just what I'm watching on tape that that were throwing him some wounded ducks a lot of times this year. But the guy will come down with the football. He's long. He's got really decent speed. He can readjust his speed. He's a good combat catcher. I love that he goes up and attacks the football, with both hands. He'll get a chance too pretty quick, just because this wide receiver room before the draft here at the Titans was light on two things. It was light on numbers, and it was also light on experience. They got the experience. When they went out and signed, another vet to put in there with Ridley, that's a plus. But you needed to get some younger legs with some speed and some ability to adapt into the offensive system with a young quarterback. I like the player, and I like exactly about where they took him.
Yeah, and then you get the speed with DK from Florida with the 4.34, and then Gunnar Helm, a nice addition at tight end, can hit you in the seam, combat catcher as well, good route runner. What do you think about those two guys?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the tight end. He's got a really big catch radius. And let me talk about his 40 time too, because I was sitting right there watching him, and he did it right in front of me. When you put on the tape, he looks better than a 4.84. I've seen 4.84 on the field before. I know what it looks like. He placed faster than that, and I was a little bit taken back by the 2.40s that he ran, but I sat there and watched him. He had a start, his first start in the 40 at the combine. He rolled his ankle. He rolled his ankle, and instead of saying, no, you know what, it hurts, I can't do it, he came back and ran the next one even better than the first one. But then he went through that whole workout, and then that ankle, I mean, there's pictures of it, if you search that on the internet. So he really chose to go ahead and continue to work with something that probably, a lot of those guys would have just said, you know what, I rolled my ankle, it's not right, I'm not going to do it. The guy's got a good catch radius. He's a really gritty dude. He's got some grit to him, and I like it. He was the leading receiver for Texas, and they had two guys that could fly. And so I think he's going to be, don't let the 4.84 say, this is just a guy out there that's got lead shoes on. He's not that. I mean, I drafted a receiver one time named Anquan Bolden that everybody told me was way too slow.
Way too slow.
Draft, and he ended up being okay.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah. But again, he was coming off a knee injury. So anyway, all that being said, I like him, but his catch radius is really good. Plus, he's got a really nice spatial feel for what's going on, and especially between the numbers, it's really going to help this young quarterback.
Coach Mack with us. Thanks to our friends at Two Rivers Ford.
Coach Mack, who surprised you, or not necessarily surprised you? Who was drafted and you were like, you know what, that's a diamond in the rough right there, a guy that you can build on, or at least put somebody in that position?
Well, I mean, we do enough research, Ron. With
none of it's a shocker.
Yeah, it's not really a shocker. I mean, that's what we spend. Rhett and I spend all of our time, 3.5 months prior to a draft. Is not necessarily, we're not drafting anybody, but we're trying to get them in perspective as far as areas that we think that they may fall in with the league. The guy that I was really pleased that we had put work in on because of what we were exposed to down at the Senior Bowl, and then I started doing work on him. Was our center guard triangle guy from Sac State.
Yeah.
And once I started doing work on him, I went, okay, well, if somebody pulls the trigger on him on the third day, you're going to get somebody that sooner or later is probably going to help the belly of your football team. I really think that's going to be true with this guy.
When you look at it, Coach Mack, when we usually don't talk about guys that are undrafted guys this early without seeing them in camp, but what does a guy like Restrepo bring?
Well, I mean, he was very productive, first of all. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was extremely. And here's another guy. I mean, he. And of course, I know they haven't released any of their undrafted free agents they've signed. So when they officially release them, but just watching him, because I watched a lot of him with the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he chose to run the 40 with a bad ham. See, that makes a difference because if you got a bad ankle or you got a bad ham, if you run your 40-yard dash, it's not going to show up, in the upper tier. But his production, especially this last year, I mean, is a productive guy. Now, how does that translate to the National Football League? And plus, I mean, he's got familiarity with the quarterback, but they both are going to, they're both are going to have to adjust their game to what the National Football League is. But you're not taking a guy just because he's friends with the quarterback. He had production down there at Miami and really a lot of production.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Coach Mack, one more draft pick, the last draft pick, Khalil Mullins, and he was named after Superman, for those that don't know Khalil, but played linebacker, moved to running back. That gives them an added dimension at that running back position, which they openly talked about needing, like kind of a counterpunch to the two they have.
Yes, Brett, a different type of running back. Of course, he was a linebacker early in his career and a pretty decent one. But this guy's a very, very physical football player. He's also got because of his linebacker background, he's also got special teams experience. But when they used him this year, I mean, this is a same foot, same shoulder back. What I mean by that is the dude's going to drop the hammer on you, and that is a different type of a back than the other two that they have. And so, I mean, I'm very, very interested to see how he's gonna fit in to what they're trying to do. And I could understand why they would take him, because they had said that they were going to try to get another back that was of a little bit different flavor than the other two that they already had on the roster, and they were able to do that.
There he is. He's Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford every Wednesday at 3:20 on 104.5 The Zone, 4:20 Eastern. I was on Eastern time.
I like that. Since
Knoxville is here today. Coach Mack, thank you, man.
Guys, enjoy it down there. I know that's going to be a great event. Again, as I said, be sure to say hello to Mike Key from Coach Mack. See you guys.
We'll definitely do it.
Coach
Thank
Mack.
you. When we come back, the NFL has fined the Falcons for the prank call episode. We got that for you next as we broadcast live from Geodis Park. Big Orange Caravan coming up. A lot of Tennessee stuff happening here, and will be on 3HL starting at 4:45 with the voice of the Titans, voice of the Vols, Mike Keith. There I go. I did it.
It's all right. Honest. I mean, he's been around for
Tough to
how many years?
reprogram.
30, 25?
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith at 4:45, and then all the coaches and the AD, Danny White. All that coming up. Stay tuned. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. I love Bert. That is where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned. My guys at Gupton are ready to help you. Just go on up there and tell Daniel Gupton and his crew what you are looking for. Maybe you need more space. Maybe you need something a little cheaper. Maybe you need something with better gas mileage. They've got you covered, man. They'll point you in the right direction. The inventory is incredible. So they'll have choices for you, whether, again, you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, or new or pre-owned. They'll point you in the right direction. You take your test drive, go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. I'm telling you, it'll be the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. I bought multiple vehicles from these guys. They're awesome, awesome people. The service department is incredible. After the point of sale, they'll let you know when you need an oil change, tire rotation, anything that's going on. They'll help you out. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Broadcasting live from Geodis Park.
What up, dog?
There's no soccer going on today.
No, y'all, unless you want to see me go down there and just, kick a little ball around. Ain't nothing happening.
I kind of would like to see that.
That'd be kind of weird.
Little corner kick?
Yeah.
You do the corner. Oh, I'll do the corner kick, and then you try to head it in.
I think we should do opposite.
The goals aren't even out on the field.
They're on the sides. It's like
so you go practice.
yeah, like
Little league.
You know, little guy basketball when you can run more games.
All we got to do is put the little 2 cones up. We can imagine there.
Oh,
you don't need a net. You need cones.
No, I want to feel the ball going into the net though. Like I
was trying to have my imagination take over. You trying to be realistic. It may not work, yo.
Yeah, you're more imaginative than I am.
There you go.
Big Orange Caravan coming up. Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, will join us at 4:45.
Oh yes.
What's that? What?
What else? It was like something was supposed to come out. That's like going into the boom boom room. Yes.
One man. That was a weird little sound effect. Was that on the script for today's show? If y'all don't know, all of our shows are scripted. Like we just read from a script during the show.
Yeah, Zeph does a phenomenal job.
What were you saying earlier? I meant to write it down for the 3HO bingo card, which comes up at 3:55. Random things that were said during the show.
Bite the seams off your T-shirt.
Yeah, but it was something else.
No, bite the sleeves.
Sleeves.
You got to bite the sleeves. That's a true story.
You said bite the sleeves, Yoral.
Yeah, bite the sleeves off your. That's as true as it comes, right there.
Any weird thing happened on the drive down to Atlanta or back, or everything was smooth sailing?
Everything was kind of cool. We had the game. The games were on. Couple little scuffles in the Indiana and Milwaukee game.
Yeah, that was a great ending.
Yeah, everything was pretty much A-okay.
Halliburton's dad and Giannis, man.
Yeah,
that's a twosome.
That was good. That was good.
Halliburton's dad just going.
They're gonna have to stop letting these NBA players' fathers get on the court because like they're causing issues.
Oh
Dude.
Man, it was funny. He's in the middle of the floor after the game.
Like it's not like after like they're shaking. I mean, he was right after walked straight up to Giannis.
Yeah.
Like clock just went red.
So
walked right up to him.
You think Tyrese is like in his head, he's like, I fully expect this to be happening right now. Like I'm not surprised at all. Or do you think he's like, man, I gotta go get Pops?
No, I gotta go get Pops. Pops
that's his name. That's Halliburton's name. That's gonna get talked about.
He's wearing his jersey.
Pops is out here tripping, man. This man just ran up to Giannis, and Giannis is sitting there shell shocked like it's over.
He just stood there looking at him.
Yeah, like, what, brother, what are you doing? Coming up here with your little, listen, it's a lot of ways them things can go, man. You run down there at your own risk you want to. You just get clocked, then what?
That's on you.
Yeah, you get fired on, like, come on, you ain't supposed to be down here, dog.
Right, so if Giannis would have, like, went up and pushed him to the floor.
It would have been in the right.
You know, the members of the media would have been, oh my God, I can't believe he pushed him, blah, blah, blah. But he would have been in the right.
He would have been in the right.
You're on his turf right
what
there.
are you doing?
You're not supposed to be there.
This is not college. We're not storming the court. Like, what is going on, dog? You get to go home with this guy.
Man, I forgot. I saw, we all know about the Malice in the Palace, right?
Yep.
Where the fight spills into the crowd and all this. I saw one from 1974, and I forget. Was it Bob McAdoo that was involved?
McAdoo would throw them hands, so I don't put it past him.
He got in the crowd and, like, stone cold punched a guy right in the face.
I believe that.
And, like, I'd never seen that before, so I was just wondering, like, in the 70s, back in the day, like, you gotta remember, like, in the NBA, the finals were pre-recorded. Like, you saw the finals on tape delay until MJ, Bird, and Michael Jordan got rolling.
Yep.
That's how. So in the 70s, I wonder if fight in the stands.
Oh,
players like expected.
Yeah, it was
like, I don't know.
Shoot, it was in golly, what's the guy's name? It was in the late 80s. A guy went up in the stands because there were somebody was saying something to one of his family members. Went up in the stands. I think it might have been his wife. Went up in the stands like 8 rows up, stole on him, and came back down. Finished the game.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, hang on a second. I got some work to do. I'll be right back.
Somebody well known, too. I want to say he played for Houston. I can't remember. Somebody in the chat will say something.
But now it's like, oh, the humanity. NFL has fined the Falcons $250,000, $250,000.
Good for them.
And defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft.
So 250 plus the 100 or
250
100
to
of
the team.
250?
250 to the team, 100 to. So Ulbrich makes $1.6 million this year. He'll make $1.6 million. So that's 6.25% of what he will make. The biggest part of that, though, is like what kind of conversation you think went on between dad and son.
Yeah, how you gonna work that out?
Because like
whooping?
we've all done stupid things that our parents have had to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. How do you think that went down? Because like, I mean, it's not like I don't even know. Like I took the car without asking.
Right.
Like,
What would your dad have done if you did something at his job and he had to pay $100,000?
well, it was my mom, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she would have lit me up, man. I mean,
I would have been able to sit.
my mom was hardcore, kind of like Slay's mom, but like, so I've been paddled one time, and like kids that are listening now, like your age, you're like, wait, they used to paddle you at school? Like, how does that work? Like, could you imagine that happening now? That would be. Sixth grader gets paddled at John Trotwood Moore. Yeah, right. But I got paddled, so I get busted. So what had happened was some girl threw like you know the eraser tips on the end of like a number 2 pencil, like not the actual eraser, but like you could buy like an eraser to put on top of the eraser. She took it off, threw it at me. So I picked it up, threw it back at her. She ducked, I missed, it hit the teacher.
Oh yeah.
I'm out of there.
Oh yeah, you play with fire.
And I remember thinking like, I ain't got nothing to say. Like,
this is done.
Yeah, I mean, cuff me up. I'm gone.
That was the worst thing you did?
No, well, so anyway, so I go to the principal's office, and so the principal is like, "I'm going to paddle you, but I have to get your mom's permission." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh, okay, she's not going to permit this." Like, blah 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 blah. And then her reasoning was like, "Hell yeah, paddle him because I'm working. Like, by the time I get home, I'm tired. I may forget about it. Like, go ahead and do it." So I got paddled by this dude, and then I get home, and yeah, she still remembered it.
Yeah. See, that's this.
Like, you're embarrassing me.
That's as a kid. So as an adult, what I would have did with them, especially knowing he in college.
So you're the dad, and the kid did this.
Yeah, we gonna figure out how to get this 100,000 out. You know what I mean? That little spring break trip that you went on, that you thought you was going on, or the summer trip that you and your partners was going on, or
that's gonna take some time to pay off.
Y'all, absolutely, because believe me, I ain't just ready to give up this 100,000. I'm probably gonna see if I can do it in some deposits or something. I don't want my 100,000 just leave like that. So while I'm seeing that each month, I want to be reminded so I can go over there to my son and be like, yeah. So once you think, because you know all of us as kids, when it comes to parents, at some point you think everything soothes over. And it's over and it's forgotten about.
Because I sat there, I thought that day, I'm like, all I did was throw an eraser at somebody and miss. But I didn't cost her $100,000. But I remember thinking that, like, when I got home from school, is everything's gonna be cool because I got paddled at school?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, time
and that thing lasted a while.
Time heals all wounds when it's personal, but this was business that's affecting personal.
That's good.
So this is different, right here. You doing something at home, like what you was just talking about, like you said, you went and you took the car, you wrecked the car, didn't nobody get hurt. All right, we're gonna get over that. That was just dumb. Come here, slap you on the back. That's dumb. This what you did, like this is beyond dumb right here. So we got to do some beyond dumb disciplinary things with this. So it's going to be some stupid stuff like walking around the neighborhood, raking up grass when they cut it off the street. Like, you don't need rake grass. So I wanted to be that dumb, like when we go through it. Like, no, you don't need no blower or anything. Or like, let's walk down to let's go down to the rock quarry and you got to pick up all the rocks. Just something dumb, like you're not gonna
mow the lawn with a pair of scissors.
You know what I'm saying? Like something dumb, like it's not going. Like we got to do that for about 5 or 6 months.
And it's not just that he cost his dad the money; it's the embarrassment, right?
Yeah,
on top of that, the third element is, man, you really affected somebody's life.
Exactly.
He'll never forget that,
dude. This was exactly. This public humiliation. So I think it should be, in return, public humiliation with him, but I'll do it. I'll make sure I get it.
By the way, you sent Bob on a little excursion.
Yes,
he was back
Bob.
at 54.
What did we say?
52.
What was that longer than 10 minutes?
Yes.
All right, Bob. He was in patrol.
Bob didn't know he was being timed.
No.
We set an over-under on when you would be back from the truck.
Because we've seen you. You heard it. That's what made you go longer? That's why you stayed so long? See,
He tried to get back
I've seen Bob get on his horse sometime.
You said that. He might run back.
And Bob would do some, hey, you would think, man, we got a break. I don't know if I just finished the story the way Zip said. I can tell y'all another time. We got to get out.
PFF listed their favorite draft pick for each team for the Titans they chose. We'll tell you when we come back. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, y'all. Holistic stem cell therapy. It's time to get that inflammation out of your body. I was just talking to Coach Mack about that. I wake up sometime with those little cricks and crannies, and I can't get going. Well, that's easy to fix. All I got to do is go over to Kellum Stem Cell Institute and go get a little hit of my own secret sauce. That's right. My secret sauce is my stem cells that have been harvested and stored for future and continued use. So I can go back in there, tell Dr. Kellum, hey, man, my knee, I'm starting to feel a little inflammation getting back in there. And it's been 2 years since I've been, so I need to go back and get a little touch up. But anyway, it's your body, your cells, your solution, and you can do the exact same thing when it comes to congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, arthritis, or just doing everyday exercises. You want to be able to get up and go do that. Call this number, 615-850-4415. That is Kellum Stem Cell Institute. Where you get your consultation set up and you're ready to sit down and talk to Dr. Ethan Kellum, who's also the stem cell specialist for the Tennessee Titans. Cut that injury in half. Get over there to KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
Good afternoon. It's 4:03. I'm Josh Heupel live from Geodis Park for the Big Orange Caravan. In NFL news today, the NFL confirmed that the Falcons have been fined $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the 2025 NFL Draft after his son Jax accessed and prank called a phone number that belonged to Shedeur Sanders. The deadline to pick up a fifth-year option for 2022 first-rounders is tomorrow. The Titans will probably not pick up wide receiver Treylon Burks, according to Chad Brinker. Former Florida State and Jets quarterback Jordan Travis announced he is medically retiring from football. Travis, who helped lead FSU to a 13-0 season in 2023 before suffering a gruesome knee injury. He was a fifth-round pick by the Jets last year. And in Tennessee basketball news, French shooting guard Clarence Masamba is committed to Tennessee basketball, averaged 9.8 points, 2.8 rebounds per game on the AC Monaco under-21 team this past season. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City, broadcasting live from the Transguard Club in Geodis Park. Big Orange Caravan coming up tonight.
Should be a fun time.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, will join us live here at 4:45. Then we will have Josh Heupel in the 5 o'clock hour, Rick Barnes in the 5 o'clock hour, Kim Caldwell in the 5 o'clock hour, Danny White in the 5 o'clock hour. So we'll be busy, but we hope to have some great conversations with the UT dignitaries that will be in attendance, and lots of Orange will be in the building. And props to all the UT people that have spent hours putting all this together today, and for Geodis Park to allow them access to have this party.
Yeah, it looks dope, man. I'm a facilitator. Nope. I am a facility grader when it comes to
facility grader.
Yeah, so I'm grading Geodis Park's facilities, and they're really, really high. Really, really good for them.
This club area, Transcard Premium Club, is phenomenal. So this is one of the premium seating elements for Nashville SC, where you can have all-inclusive food and beverage.
Yeah, but when in particular, though, I'm a shakedown artist. So when I got to shake it down, like, I go grade the facilities that you use the bathroom. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's the reason I'm bringing this up. This one
Did you just go do that?
No, that was just a water bill payer. But I did notice the facilities are really nice. They give out like an 8.7 out of 10. They don't fire now. But I bring it up because I was able to go, like you said, go to the Kendrick Lamar concert, and it was held at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They up there, you know what I mean? The public general population facilities, about a good 7, 9, 8. You know what I'm saying? Like they are on point. Quick, get your hands washed, plenty of paper towels. They got people in there attending to it. You know what I mean? So people ain't paying the water bill on the floor and walking away. Like everybody's accounted for it now. I say that to say, I cannot wait for our stadium. Dog.
Oh, the new, yeah.
Oh, man.
New Nissan.
Because looking at these new stadiums, man, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be
man, the amenities and everything in Mercedes. I was like, that's my first time going there.
I need you to go
outside the SEC when we went that time.
Yeah, I need you to go to the Hermitage Hotel and check out the bathrooms in there, because they're world renowned to be to have the best bathrooms in the country.
Oh,
world renowned in the country. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, Hermitage Hotel. It's a true story.
All right, I'm gonna go check them out.
What'd you give this place? 8.7.
Yeah, this is 8.7 in that one. Now I ain't been able to go to the general bathrooms. The general population bathrooms where everybody go. I'm gonna have to mosey out there on the next break and check them out. Make sure they being upheld. But the general population in Mercedes, man, they all right in there.
This is quite a breakdown.
Hey, this is what I do, yo. shakedowns, and food.
Facility grader.
Man, they food in Mercedes. They ain't playing. You know how you go get the little slices of pizza and be like, oh, man, they could have made this at
the gas station.
No, some of the gas stations is good.
Yeah.
This could have been like, you know how Kroger just throw it together sometime.
Yeah.
You can take it home and put it in the oven.
I'll tell you this, though. When I was a kid, those Kroger pizzas.
No, they were phenomenal.
Fire.
Especially you put the extra cheese and stuff on there.
Extra cheese, yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Yep.
But these right here, I got 2 sausage slices, and, man, the sausage was thick on there. Man, this was good. Hey, boy, I was like, all right. They know what they're doing. Got a little wrong, some pepperoni and slices. Yeah, man.
But you're saying the sausage was thick.
Yeah.
Ron Slay is here, y'all.
I'm in the building. Sometimes you got to be in the building. I'm saying that to say, man, when we get the Nissan.
Heupel and them, like Kim Caldwell listening right now, coming in, they're like, oh, y'all are doing that show.
They know me. Yeah, I mean, they know what we're about. What the hell is 3HL?
They do know you.
Yeah, like, oh, come on, y'all. What y'all expect out of me? Honestly, what are y'all? You know what I mean? This is the stuff that people got to know. I'm more of a boots on the ground type of guy.
Yeah.
So I'm getting out there for the common man and letting them know.
That's what this show's about.
Come on now.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying, yo.
The people show.
Come on, man. Like we want to know what a good food is, Zell. You want to know what a good shakedown is after you food.
Have you been here for a game yet?
No, I haven't.
I have. It's incredible.
You need to come for a game.
Yeah. Really?
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. I didn't grow up a soccer guy. I played 1 year when I was a kid, and I was a small kid. I was, like, really small. I told this story a lot, but, like, I grew up tiny. Like, I was 4'11" in ninth grade. But when I was a little kid, in Houston, the shin guards that my mom bought me wouldn't fit on my shins, so they would, like, swing around to the back of my leg. And, man, I would get kicked in the shins all day long. I was like, I ain't doing this again.
Yeah, calf guards, yo.
Yeah, I did. My calves were fine. Nobody's kicking you from behind. I'm not outrunning anybody.
Shins, man. Shins together.
Yeah, it's a fun event, and part of it is the venue and the vibe, and the fans are incredible.
I bet.
We were talking with Josh that works up here, and we actually saw him at Nissan Stadium at the Titans draft party, working that event too. But he was like, man, I didn't grow up. Like, I grew up here. I didn't grow up like a soccer guy. Like, I played the big three. And he goes, but, man, being around these Nashville SC fans is awesome.
Yeah. Like, shout out to our fans. We got some of the best fans when it comes to
no matter what.
MLS. Yeah,
well, and I think part of that is, like, I think you could put anything here, and people are going to turn out because we're so civically minded. Like, we all love Nashville. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if you're, like, not into something, like, you're going to support the town, right?
We buy into our own. Yep, absolutely.
I hear Rocky Top almost.
Something like it. Somebody warming up.
PFF listed their favorite draft pick for each team. For the Titans, they chose 4th-round draft pick wide receiver Alec Iomanner from Stanford. The Titans traded back into the 4th round to grab the 6'2", 206-pound wide receiver. About Iomanner, they said, Iomanner lasting until the 4th round was not on my bingo card, and I believe the Titans got a steal with this pick. His 8.7% drop rate in 2024 has to be the catalyst for him lasting this long. But there are so many positives to his game: blocking, contested catches in the red zone, and deep speed for a big receiver. I think he can be wide receiver 2 in Tennessee, is what they wrote.
Oh, he's gonna have a challenge.
Iomanner.
Iomanner got a challenge on his hand
from the injured
Mayo Burks. You think it's a game? Better come in and get their work done. No, I think that was a great pickup, man.
I think so too. And
there's a lot of challenges going on in the room.
Did it surprise you in the moment when they traded back up into the 4th round?
Yeah.
Now they only gave up 5 picks and 5 slots in the 6th round, but so basically cost them nothing.
Which the Ravens used to get a kicker, by the way.
Yeah.
Thought they did a great job, man. I'm gonna be honest.
What, the Ravens getting a kicker?
No, for Burt, but not for us. I thought the Titans did a great job of using value, finding value in their picks, whether they be late or early. So
I agree. It's gonna be fun to watch. And again, rookie camp begins next week at the end of the week. They get in on Thursday, and then they're out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think is what Jim said.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That was a hell of a segment. We covered a lot of ground there.
I'm just telling y'all what to look forward to when we get Nissan here.
Man, the new stadium's going to be incredible.
I'm telling you, I know it is.
It dwarfs current Nissan Stadium.
Yes, it says it's going up with 90 feet higher.
94 feet taller, yeah.
That's wild, dog. Zeph just reached up to show us what 94 feet taller would look like.
And he stayed behind the camera.
Thank you, Zeph.
When we come back, Todd Furman, Bet the Board podcast at Todd Furman on X. We'll dive into the Kentucky Derby. You know we like the well-named horses.
Yes.
Also, Toby Keith's horse is involved, R.I.P. Toby Keith. So that might be some. There's a horse named Journalism, and there's a horse named Publisher. That's weird. And then there's what's the Mohawk? Is it Flaming Mohawk or?
It was I think it was Flying Mohawk.
So we thought about Hunk on that deal.
Yeah, that's a hunk horse.
That's a Hunk horse.
Hey, Slay, my favorite and Ross's favorite, Chunk of Gold.
Yeah, for Chunky Monkey.
Nah.
He said no.
That one's going to crash out. That horse up just
Hey,
roll on over.
it ain't gonna stop though.
What?
No.
What if they?
It ain't gonna stop though.
Can't stop.
True.
Can you imagine?
And I finished the race, but it won't stop.
There's been a jockey change on. What was it? Chunky Gold.
Chunk of Gold.
Chunky Gold.
There's a jockey change on Chunk of Gold. It's Chunky Jockey.
Yeah, she's back.
She steals the horse.
Yeah, horse went
That
rogue.
horse is flying, and she's got a pistol.
Yeah, she's going off the track. Where she get the pistol from? But
Nobody's getting around her, man.
Is Chris gonna jump on a horse and go chase after her?
nah, she'll take the
Chunky
horse
Jockey's
out.
on a horse flying around with a pistol, dude. I mean,
Hey.
she's won the race already.
Absolutely.
Now she'll probably crash into the hedges or something.
Yeah, then she's going down. She's gone, though. The horse might not make it.
All right, Todd Furman next on 104.5 The Zone.
All right, you guys have heard me talk about Zen Sport. Well, how about the major upgrade? It is now turning into VIP Play. They will offer 200 leagues to wager on, all of your favorite bet types, and you've obviously heard, hey, live now, bet, but you have not experienced live always, like VIP Play will be. Bet assured in Tennessee with a VIP guarantee. With VIP Play, everyone plays like a VIP, so 24/7 customer support from real people. You can earn entries into the Players Club. They have sweepstakes with every bet, and you'll be able to cash out a bet for full stake if the line hasn't changed. So much more. Get ready to go ahead and claim your VIP Play welcome bonus when you make your first bet on this new and improved app of $5 or more. You'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly. DAWNTN is your code to sign up with, DAWNTN. VIP Play app coming soon to Tennessee exclusively. To learn more and grab that early welcome bonus or VIP Players Club status, just head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Got to be 21 and older and located in Tennessee to bet.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport on assignment. She'll be involved in the beach volleyball broadcast going on ESPN2 on Friday and Saturday. So check her out when you get the chance. And we are broadcasting live from Geodis Park today. No, we're not here for Nashville SC, but we certainly would be. But it is the Big Orange Caravan going on tonight. What do you got, Zeph?
I can already see the line down the side of the building.
Yeah.
Way past the windows.
I got here about 2:30, and people were already sitting outside the door.
I was going to say, is it windows right now? How are you seeing this, Zeph? Okay.
Yeah, there's windows right here.
I got you. All right. I thought Zeph was.
You didn't believe him there for a second?
No, I definitely believed him. I was like, how did he see through the wall?
Maybe he's got superpowers.
It is super Zeph powers. I got a parlay that is Rete.
Well, Todd Furman joins us now. I'm sure he would love to hear this.
Oh, this guy here, no. I'm waiting to hear him because he did me right last game. What was it, last Wednesday? Went with Todd Father's nice little charitable donation to the sleigh ride parlays, and was very happy. So I want to know from Todd Father before we even get into anything else, horse racing, NASCAR, NBA playoffs, any of that, NHL, what the Senators are doing. Is it any hope for them to come back and win this series?
Belief that has long been starved for a Stanley Cup and is no stranger to heartbreak, especially should this series end up going to a pivotal Game 7 in the Battle of Ontario. But I think that was rock bottom for the Maple Leafs in Game 5. I really expect them to play a little bit looser and free on the road in the Canadian capital in Game 6. And I think as the number continues to drift out, Slay, the Leafs make an awful lot of sense as a road underdog in what should be a low-scoring game, but I don't even think we get to a pivotal Game 7, although from a narrative standpoint, it would be pretty entertaining to watch the entire city of Toronto melt, given the frustration they feel with this love-hate relationship when it comes to the Leafs.
And they would definitely melt, boy.
Since you guys are already into the National Hockey League, we've got 3 games tonight, Todd. Do you think Washington closes out the Canadians?
I do think Washington finds a way to end this series in 5. Am I running to the window to lay $1.80, the price tag that's currently attached to the Caps in this spot? Probably not. I think the big loss for Montreal is having to go to backup netminder Jakub Dobiš in the wake of Samuel Montembeault getting injured in the 2 games that Montreal played at home. So it's a little bit of a drop-off in that regard. This is a Caps team that plays a physically imposing, heavier brand of hockey, and I think the longer the series goes, they can wear them down. But Montreal has absolutely nothing to lose, and that always makes you an extremely attractive underdog in this price range. But I think Washington, too big, too strong, too physical, gets the win, but it's probably going to price me out with them right in that $1.80 to $1.90 range.
Another situation, similar situation with Florida leading 3-1. They are in Tampa Bay tonight. Can Tampa Bay force a Game 6?
Tampa,
or Game 5, sorry.
A little bit better spot. I mean, they'll be without Brandon Hagel and his 35 goals and 55 assists, dealing with a concussion. I don't expect him back in this series. And you saw the NHL come down pretty hard on Aaron Ekblad for what, no way to sugarcoat it, was a cheap shot, more or less a forearm shiver that'll have him suspended for tonight and the next game that the Florida Panthers will play this postseason. Last game, final score a little bit misleading. You saw Tampa take a 2-1 lead into the third. It was Florida tallying twice in 11 seconds and then adding an empty netter late in that game to push it over the total. I think defense can rule the day, and my strongest lean on this game is looking to go under 5.5. I think it's the first team to 3. No love lost between these teams. The one challenge in elimination type scenarios, if a team is chasing, in this case for Tampa, you do always wonder how early in the game they would pull their goalie, but I feel this game can be 2-1, 3-2 type of finish, so I would lean under the total at 5.5.
Let's finish up with St. Louis at the Jets. Series side at 2, huge game.
For sure, and it's the Winnipeg team that looked to have firm control of this series, winning the first 2 at home before they got blown out not once but twice on the road against St. Louis. Their starting goalie, who's going to win the Vezina Trophy for best goaltender in the NHL, pulled in each of those games, wasn't pulled during one of his regular season starts. So you begin to wonder what's going on between his ears. We know that there is plenty of playoff shortcomings attached to Connor Hellebuck's resume. Can this be a game that allows him to build back a little bit better? Total heavily shaded to the under at 5.5, although 3 of the first 4 games in this series have all gone over. You see Winnipeg as at $1.65, $1.70 favorite. I think St. Louis is a live underdog, but the first 10 minutes of this game are going to tell us an awful awful lot. If anything, I feel a little bit more comfortable trying to bet a Connor Hellebuck under saves prop. I think Winnipeg's collective defensive effort will be the key component of this game, and there's a couple different ways to be able to get there. So if you're able to shop around some 21.5s out there, make sure it's for regulation, though, and look to go under 21.5 saves for Connor Hellebuck.
Todd Furman, our guy in Vegas, at Todd Furman, Bet the Board podcast.
All right, Todd Father, elimination games when it comes to playoffs are some of the best games, and that's what we have when it comes to the NBA playoffs on this Wednesday hump day night. Warriors going down to Houston after stealing game one down there. You came home and took care of business, were able to get away without playing Jimmy Butler. The guys all rallied, and Houston has looked like a shell of themselves as of late. Draymond Green seems to be getting in their head. Does the Warriors close these guys out, man, in Houston?
It's been a real struggle for Houston to operate in the half court. Offensively, they look like they're going through a bit of a power outage, to say the least, and that might be as complimentary as you can be of what this team has done. You mentioned Draymond Green finding a way to rattle cages of a younger roster that hasn't played in games of this magnitude. I do worry a little bit, Slay, about Golden State, who'll be playing their third game in 5 days with an older roster. You have to imagine in the back of their head they realize even if they were to drop the game today that they'll feel comfortable closing out Houston in their own building for Game 6. You've seen this game go back and forth. Houston opened as a 2.5-point favorite. Number got as high as 4.5. And you've seen a little bit of dog money come in. I look at Houston and think they can do enough on the defensive side to force a pivotal Game 6. Do I think you're necessarily stealing, laying 3.5, 4? No. But I'd be much closer to laying the points here with Houston than backing Golden State. I expect Jalen Green to be significantly better at home than what we saw in each of the 2 road games where he was more or less an afterthought for the Rockets.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. All right. Edwards, I guess we knocking on the door for a battle of face of the league when you look at the way he's playing in the playoffs against a guy like Luka, who was kind of given that trophy, took his team to the finals last year, added with the Lakers. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon and said, oh, look how much defense they're playing. And now they can't stop a nosebleed by themselves. So Timberwolves, do they finish it off in L.A. or do they take it back to Minnesota?
The real concern for LA, just not a lot of depth. The fact that J.J. Redick played that same 5 for an entire second half, you saw a team build a comfortable lead, or at least what appeared to be on the surface going into the fourth quarter, and then more or less look absolutely gassed down the stretch. Anthony Edwards finding another gear that the Lakers just couldn't match. On the defensive side, I do think having that extra day for the Lakers will help them a ton, having played on Sunday, not needing to run it back on Tuesday. The Lakers need to get off to a quick start, and in my opinion, if you're looking to try and back them, I'd be much more inclined to bet them in the first half here. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Lakers take care of business in their own building and Minnesota closes them out in 6. I'm going to be very fascinated if we do get a Timberwolves-Warriors, Western Conference semifinals where that price opens. If the Timberwolves are listed as an underdog, I would be more than happy to try and back them. I think their depth, their physicality, and their athleticism going to pose some real problems for a Warriors team that, in my opinion, benefited immensely from playing a Houston team that just struggles to consistently get that offense going. So that's kind of what I'm looking for as I forecast ahead to the next round. Would love to be able to get the Timberwolves at even money or maybe in that plus $1.10, plus $1.20 range in the best of 7 should they meet up with the Warriors.
Love that.
Todd, let's hit NASCAR real quick. Austin Cindric with the win. You got Texas coming up on May 4th. What do you think?
Well, yeah, a little bit of a tougher track to handicap. We've seen cars snap loose. I know on the surface, a 1.5-mile track, you figure there's going to be all sorts of investment opportunities around here. Slightly more predictable than the super speedway style we saw at Talladega, although last week in Talladega, much calmer than what we've grown accustomed to, one of the longest green flag runs that we've seen to kind of close out that race. And you mentioned Austin Cindric getting there. Team Penske really has their cars dialed in, something to keep in mind when we go back to Dega in the playoffs. This week, I'll go a little bit further down the odds board and look at Chase Briscoe. I know he's a guy that's kind of haunted us early in the season, but I think these prices continue to be too long for a driver that's actually fared well in inferior equipment here in the past. I know it's always tough to knock off the Denny Hamlins, the Ryan Blaney's, and the Kyle Larsons when you go to this kind of track. But I think Chase Briscoe, right around 20-1, pretty widely available, makes sense. He should have the speed in his car, and if he's able to keep it in good spot, I think he can run inside the top 10 all day and maybe have a chance to grab a checkered flag late.
Good stuff. Todd Furman with us on 3HL. All right, let's go to the Kentucky Derby. And you know how we do it around here. We like the names of the horses. There is an added deal here with Toby Keith's horse, Render Judgment, which I think that should be the 3HL horse, Render Judgment, because that's what Dawn does every day. We talked about this yesterday. So the Toby Keith element, Render Judgment is her to a core. So that's the horse we're going, but that's the longest shot of shots.
Yeah, a little bit of an uphill battle there. I figured Slay, being the consummate professional he is, would be clamoring for journalism, because I know that's how Slay prides himself as a journalist in the sports media space over the last handful of years as his playing career winded down. But in terms of handicapping the Derby, one of the biggest fields that most of these horses will ever run in, talking about 20 and how lucrative it is, two horses kind of stand out to me, and I'm going to try and fade the favorite here. I think Journalism, rightly priced at such short odds, but you also have a question about the resume that they've put together running in some shallower fields in California to get to this point. So two horses, American Promise, right around 30-1. I wouldn't be surprised if that number came down into that 22 to 25 range. I think makes an awful lot of sense when you're trying to build a card. This is a horse that has a 7-week layoff since the Virginia Derby. You do worry sometimes about rest over rust, but Dwayne Lucas at age 89 has shown he can still win on the Triple Crown Trail after Seize the Gray took the Preakness home last year. And the other horse I think that makes some sense right in that 12 to 14 range is actually Burnham Square. Bear speed figures improved with every race of his career, continuing to trend in the right direction. But you do worry a little bit of the last 71 geldings to run the Derby. Only 2 have won, and we haven't seen one be able to do so since 2009. So sometimes not having your manhood attached in a race of this magnitude can work against you. But I think Burnham Square at 12-1, a worthwhile investment as well.
So how do we've been asked this question because some sites don't allow betting on Kentucky Derby. Like, how does that work? Is that a site-by-site thing or a state-by-state thing?
It all depends, depending on the state that you're in. Sometimes your only access is going to be part of a pari-mutuel pool, which is run through basically a full collection of dollars wagered, whether it's in Nevada or if you're betting at the track. And if that's the case, you're always going to be subjected to what those odds are at the time of post. So you may bet a horse on Thursday at, say, 25-1, but unlike a sporting event where you lock in the number at the time of placing your bet, you're kind of at the mercy of how that late race handle ends up impacting the numbers. And if you're looking at some of the other books that are there, and encourage people that are much more familiar with some of the stick and ball sports to look at those fixed odds pools that are there, where once you lock in a horse at 8-1 or 9-1, that's the number you're guaranteed, regardless of where it goes, the same way that you would approach the futures market in college basketball, the NBA, the NHL, what have you. So it's a little bit different state by state. Unfortunately, I won't claim to be up to speed on exactly how Tennessee approaches their horse racing handle, but I'm sure there are plenty of folks that may make the trip across state lines into the Bluegrass State if needed, but do shop around and make sure you know exactly how your bet's going to be graded and the kind of market that you're betting into before Saturday's Run for the Roses.
We've talked about how big a deal it is for people to travel to Vegas to watch, like, the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament or whatever that may be. Do you see the same thing happen for the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, it's one of the more underrated sports weekends out here. Now, unfortunately, some of the luster around that has been muted. We used to have a big prize fight all the time as part of Cinco de Mayo,
Okay.
so normally it was either Oscar De La Hoya that would dominate that in years past, Floyd Mayweather, and then Canelo Alvarez. But with Canelo fighting more tomato cans than anything else, not quite the same festivities out here in Vegas, but you do have Major League Baseball, you have the NASCAR race, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and the weather typically a lot better out here than what you're going to find deep into the NFL season. So it depends on what you're after. You'll probably have a much more expansive betting menu, and the 2 to 3 minutes for the Kentucky Derby that you'll be in the book, the energy is palpable. But again, most of the Kentucky Oaks and the rest of the card that you'll see at Churchill throughout Friday and Saturday, a little bit anticlimactic. Other than the diehards, the one thing, though, that I will say when it comes to horse racing, and if you want to do some people watching out here in the desert, a spectacle unlike anything else, the weird superstitions that those old school horse bettors have, especially the ones that want to jump up and down and look like they're emulating riding a horse, it is a sight to behold. Let's just put it that way.
That sounds like the place I need to be.
Yeah.
I like the sound.
I mean, look, Slay, I could see you out there, with the racing form wrapped up in your hand, kind of looking to paddle yourself accordingly, jumping around in the sports book. I mean, that's the kind of viral footage that we're looking for to really make 3HL the national brand you guys are aspiring to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I saw that you posted some on your social media that the attendance or the betting was a little down on the strip. See, I can pick all that. I can pick that back up.
I mean, look, if you're going to bring a healthy betting handle, I expect you to be out here. But I figured a man of your stature wouldn't be headed out to Vegas. You'd be rubbing elbows with all the suits on Millionaires Row at Churchill itself, decked out in your seersucker and your Kentucky Derby hat ready to go, making sure that you were about 14 or 15 mint juleps deep before they even got to post for that, I think 6:57 Central or 5:57 Central for when the race will actually go off Saturday afternoon into the early evening.
Babs has been once. She sat on Millionaires Row, and she bought a $1,000 hat that she has worn twice.
I was going to ask, how often has she worn that hat?
Yeah,
after
$500 a turn there.
Nuts.
I mean, that gets pricey, but the one good thing about that, if you wear it 2 more times, suddenly we're only talking about $250 a throw, and it becomes a true value proposition.
That's exactly right. She has a $1,000 pair of boots, too, that she never wears either, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you, Todd. Good stuff, man. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, guys. Enjoy some of the NBA and NHL playoffs and, of course, the race on Saturday.
At Todd Furman, Bet the Board Podcast. When we come back, the voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, will join us next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Make sure that you are listening through the break. It is Wednesday, and it is Winning Wednesday with 104.5 The Zone and the Nashville Sounds. Be caller number 5 to win 2 tickets to see the Sounds host the Norfolk Tides next Wednesday for Racing Night at First Horizon Park. Plus, the first 500 fans to the ballpark are invited to play music bingo throughout the game and turn their winning board into a prize from local businesses. So start your engines for Racing Theme Night at the ballpark. Experience the thrill of the track with racing-inspired entertainment and exciting in-game activities. Fans can enjoy high-speed fun as we celebrate the world of racing with special promotions and a fast-paced atmosphere. Your chance to win. 615-737-1045. History had the gold rush, then came the oil boom, then the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and the Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Streaming, booming. Gaming, booming. Video calls, booming. Even when your boss schedules a meeting that definitely could have been done in an email. And now you can get Xfinity Internet and mobile together in all-in-one plan. It is the ultimate power couple. Wi-Fi power boost from Xfinity Mobile gives you faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go. So your Wi-Fi is booming wherever you are. Now through June 23rd, new customers can get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited Internet data, and get 1 unlimited 5G mobile line included, all in one plan, all for $40 a month for 1 year. So whether you're working, watching, or panning for Wi-Fi gold, one thing's for sure, Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Texas fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of data usage. Data thresholds vary after 1 year. Rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years, regular rates apply to all services. Actual speeds vary. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport on assignment. She will be back on Monday. You can check her out on ESPN2 with the beach volleyball coverage coming up from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Broadcasted live today from the Nashville SC home field, Geodis Park. We're in the Transcard Premium Club area. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there's a lot of orange in here. Big Orange Caravan coming up tonight, hosted by this guy, the voice of the Vols, Mike Keith. Mike, what's up? How are you?
Brent Doherty, Ron Slay, hello.
Let me just say how much I love your UT-themed Nikes.
Thank you.
Can I start there?
Sure, you can take a picture and send them out if you want.
Yes.
Those are phenomenal.
Thank you. Yes, they gave me a lot of stuff when I got there.
Stuff is good.
Well, it was funny because there was a big bag of stuff that was in my office. It did not have my name on it.
But it was in your office.
But it was in my office, so I took it. So I don't know if it's really mine, but it was in my size, so I'm assuming.
I was going to say, it's not Ramon Foster's, is it?
It was not Ramon Foster's. No, Ramon Foster's is the pictures that we took of Ramon and Jason Swain, and even Brent Hubbs, who's considerably taller than I am. They're like, that's so nice. You brought your little brother to the picture with everyone, so that's okay.
Settling in?
Yeah, we're getting there. It's a big transition because we're trying to get so many things jump-started all at once, and then we have the normal things that you want to do. You want to be involved with football and basketball and baseball and follow those sports. You want to be out at spring practice virtually every day. You've got the orange and white game. You've got the Big Orange Caravan, which is a lot of fun. So you have the things that are still going on while you're doing all the things behind the scenes that, truthfully, you hope nobody ever really is that interested in. And that's the part of this. And you guys know it from what you do with the radio station, with ESPN and SEC Network. There's so much that goes on in terms of the planning and laying everything out and making sure you have all the right equipment and the right people in place. We're doing all of those sorts of things right now. So I don't want to bore people with that, but there are a lot of meetings and there are a lot of emails and texts and lists and what do you think of this, and
Kind of like the duck scenario where you look calm above the water, but the feet are going underneath.
I think so. And it's no complaint at all. It's something that I was very excited about in this opportunity because for what their vision was for all of it is really, really exciting. Ashley Farrell, who's worked with me for 11 years, she is coming to work at the University of Tennessee in the athletics
She's been great for us, and I tried to put that on Twitter for her.
Ash is.
She's been great.
She's if this were the portal, she's a 5-star.
Yes.
Should be her nickname, 5-star Farrell. Because I'm telling you, she's not only fantastic at what she does, but I think she's really excited about working with the students. And that's been something that has been refreshing day in, day out to see the type of students that we have and the ability they have to do different technical things. I mean, they're so far ahead of where we were, and it's fun to hear their ideas. You truly do learn as much from them as they learn from you. And, with all these programs that we have and all of the excitement that's going on around Tennessee athletics, period, it's phenomenal. All 20 of our programs last year made the postseason. It's the first time that's ever happened.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. And
that's incredible.
Winning championships and winning national championships. But, man, when you've got Jordan Crooks in swimming and you get Carlin Pickens in softball and, just on and on and on, we're in a position that we have a lot going on and a lot of great opportunities for students. And, we're trying to make it happen in that area as well.
You've been all over social media. That's the next video we need. We need you in the batter's box with Pickens throwing that 78 miles an hour.
Swinging?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Hey, you can do whatever you want, but
stand
in there.
Well,
Stand in there.
I stood in there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I stood in there. I did, a few friends got on me because I did not have a bat.
Okay.
And
I missed that one.
I'm like,
yes.
there's absolutely no chance I'm taking a swing.
What did it look like?
It's crazy. It was totally.
People don't understand. Like, you don't understand watching softball on television how close the pitcher is to the batter.
How close, and she's 6'2", so when she releases the pitch, it looks like she's 2 feet from me.
Yeah, she could like flick her
The other
nose.
thing, too, is I was a baseball player, and so, I tell some guys throw pretty hard, but they're coming over the top. And so that pitch is coming downhill. What she's doing is, in most cases, rising. It's coming from obviously a very low angle, and you say this and it sounds elementary until you see it and you realize how different it looks. I'll put it this way. Her pitch was as impressive as if not more impressive as me getting in the car with Mario Andretti 2 years ago. And that was wild. But this was, you just couldn't believe how hard she throws.
I remember Frankie getting in the box with I think it was Jennifer Martin, Ingle Martin's wife, who was an incredible softball player, and Monica Abbott, I think.
Yeah.
In there with her.
Frank called me. He called me before, he's talking all this stuff, and he calls me, he goes, okay, now you played baseball. What do I need to do? I said, call in sick. I said, Frank, you have no chance. He goes, I was a professional. I went to the Pro Bowl. I'm like, yeah, you have no chance. You have no idea what this looks like.
So funny. And no, he didn't. That's true.
And he fouled one off and then wanted to have a parade.
Contact, Mike.
Contact,
that's the key.
And I think she let him foul it off, to be honest.
Mike Keith, voice of the Vols, with us on 3HO.
Mike, we haven't been able to speak with you outside of watching you on the Mike Keith Show, which is taking off, doing terrific things.
Thank you.
There. When that's coming together, because we all have that fan inside. You talked about you being a fan of Tennessee, growing up watching it, but being able to sit in the room with some of these up-and-coming heroes in Tennessee, what is that feeling like with the Zakai's, the Tony Vitello, Coach Barnes, and so forth and so on?
It's really a great thing, Ron, because I've had the blessing of being away from it. I don't know them.
Right.
And so I've just been a fan, and in following them that way and then getting to meet these people and get to spend time with them, Zakai was a huge thrill for me.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was a huge thrill for me to get a chance to meet him, and turns out he's just as cool and just as good a guy as you think he is. And it was so fun to delve into all of it because I had so many questions. Coming from a non-media member in terms of how I followed that program, there were just things I was dying to know. I asked him the question, are you scared of anything?
Yeah.
And I was told that got a lot of play on social media. People saying, why would you ask him that? That's an insult. But the truth is, he is such a little guy, and he is going against people not only a foot taller, but outweigh him by 100 pounds. And, man, he goes into the lane fearlessly. And he said, I'm afraid of my mother. That's it. That's all I'm afraid of.
And they're
my
about the same size.
That's right. He said, but
they are.
But I totally get what he means by that, because you couldn't play like he plays and be afraid.
Yep.
And I thought about that question when somebody sort of took offense, and I don't know that they really did, but I thought, well, I understand why you would ask that. The reason I'm asking that is, having been around sports my entire life and just realizing when you're the size he is, it's such a disadvantage, especially today.
Yes. Yep.
Because these guys aren't just tall; they are.
That reminds me of one play that kind of encapsulates all that, when he called Janai Broom out there, and they both kind of looked at each other and here we go, and he took him to the rim.
Don't you love sports for that reason?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
There are guys on teams that I don't care for, but I see those moments. I'm like, hey, tip of the cap, my friend.
Yep.
Tip of the cap. That's a beautiful thing. In order to see that kind of competition, it's like what we saw at the Masters. It's what you see in different moments where guys are just getting after it, and they have different mindsets than the normal human. Zakai Ziegler is not normal.
No, he's not.
On paper, it's being said he has no chance to make the NBA. Really?
Tell him that.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
I get it. He's too small.
Right.
Yeah. He's never been told things like that before.
Well, but does he?
Right.
And that to me is the challenge in all of it. You like to see the greats, but you also like to see the stories like that, and you like to tell those stories, like seeing the 78-mile-an-hour softball pitch from Carlin Pickens, just to say you saw it.
Yeah. I keep telling Slay I want to stand in the box, see 100 mile an hour. And Slay's like, no.
Well,
I'm like, yeah.
this 78 miles an hour
Yes.
from 43 feet
There you go.
is 106 miles an hour.
That's ridiculous. More with Mike Keith when we come back. 3HL broadcasting live from the Big Orange Caravan. Coming up tonight at Geodis Park. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Pella is celebrating 100 years in business this year. What does that mean for you? Well, that means that you know it's a company you can trust. You know it's a company that does things right. And there's no way in the world they'd be around for 100 years if they didn't. Lifetime warranties on all of their windows and doors. And on top of that, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville also backs their work up with warranty and offers a 10-year labor warranty, which is leading in the industry. They have the staff in place to support you, the customer. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville are the best. I've used them and actually are just adding another new door to the house. Also, they want to give you a deal. The Dawn deal is what we call it. We change it every month. And this month, couple days left, 55% off qualifying installations and no interest if paid in full within 12 months. No promo payments due, plus an additional $250 off of your order. This one's the best one yet. New doors, new windows, you need them. Now's a great time. Schedule a free consultation online. Just go to PellaNashville.com.
Good evening. It's 5:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Geodis Park for the Big Orange Caravan. In NFL news today, the Bills signed former second-round pick Elijah Moore on a one-year, $5 million max deal. In Tennessee basketball news, Indiana's Darian DeVries will hire Tennessee's Rod Clark as an assistant coach. Clark has been a part of back-to-back runs to the Elite Eight with Rick Barnes and the Vols. He's been with Tennessee for 4 years. Also, French shooting guard Clarence Masamba has committed to Tennessee, averaging 9.8 points, 2.8 rebounds per game on the AC Monaco under-21 team this past season. For your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. Your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Welcome in. Brent Doherty with you. Ron Slay is here. Dawn Davenport will return on Monday. She is on assignment. We are broadcasting live from Geodis Park. They have just opened the doors. Big Orange Caravan going on tonight. And the MC, the host, voice of the Vols, Mike Keith at the table. Mike,
Last
good to see
night
you.
Got kind of crazy with
In Memphis.
with Rick Barnes in Memphis.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah, he immediately started in on me. I was warned.
Yeah.
He came after me. They told me that night 2 will be worse.
How did he come after you, Mike?
Well, the first thing he did is he got on stage and presented me with a Bob Kessling, Burt Bertelkamp bobblehead. Said that I needed to speak to them and ask them for advice about how to do the job. And
That's the bobblehead.
that's the bobblehead. Yeah, I mean, it was.
When in doubt, turn to the bobbleheads.
I tell you something. Getting to work with him is going to be so much fun. I have not gotten to spend much time with him because he was obviously in season and, doing his thing.
Yeah.
But he really is that awesome.
Yeah.
He's a wild man.
Yes.
I mean, what he will
yes,
do,
he is.
what he will
Mike.
do here tonight is he will take over the program. So I will start the program. I will probably ask Kim Caldwell something, Josh Heupel something. I'll get to him. But even before I ask him something, he will take over the program.
Yes.
The whole flight to Memphis, he was telling stories. The whole flight, and then the whole flight back.
You know, it
was and the stories are unreal.
Yeah.
He's amazing, man.
He's been around
man.
since, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And he keeps finding the energy.
Well, I think the setup now is built for him.
We were just talking about
I think
that.
the setup of all of it was you don't recruit guys for 3 years anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to every tournament, to every summer thing, to every. It's set up for somebody of his age. He's essentially an NBA general manager on top of being a head coach, which at age 70 he can do better than anybody right now because, I mean, outside of Tom Izzo, I mean, really, Bill Self, I guess, although Kansas has had some difficulties lately. But, I mean, there aren't many of those guys left. Roy Williams went away, and Krzyzewski went away, and all these guys retired. But Kelvin Sampson doing the same thing.
Yeah.
These guys who are these Masters-level coaches have the ability to take what they know about player evaluation, and they can actually go get guys.
Yes.
And they're not having to sell them on a 4-year commitment or a 3-year commitment or a 2-year commitment. It's really a 1-year commitment.
Right. So from his perspective, he gets to recharge almost
Every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and
just talking about
I mean,
that.
unlike for the football coaches too, it ends.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got his team together.
Yep. That fast. That's interesting that you bring that up, Mike, because when you look at these guys, a lot of times with him, and I'm sure everybody that has the opportunity to be around him, and I haven't had that much, but just the time being, is not necessarily the university. And listen, Tennessee sells itself. But with his program, he sells his program. And that's not a lot of what happens throughout. A lot of times they build up what the university is, such as the Texas, what he built there at Texas, and it was able to take on its own world when it comes to basketball. But with him, he sets the standard. When he walks away, you walk away with him.
Right.
It's something different than just the university when you're recruiting. So, to your point.
And they have treated him so well.
Yeah.
I mean, back from the time he got there, and Randy Boyd has gone about that, and, Philip Fulmer did that, making sure he didn't leave to go to for UCLA. I mean, he's been paid. He's been respected. People throughout the university love him.
Yes.
And so I think at this point in his life, the greatest part of it is he's really living his best coaching life.
Yeah.
He's in a good place, not far from his hometown. His wife went to school there. He's got his kids. He's very involved with all of the things revolving around his faith. The players that he takes fit in with what he wants. He's got a university that he likes the president, he likes the chancellor, he likes the athletic director, he likes the women's coach, he likes the football coach. I mean, it's a perfect situation, which is why I believe, I know we hadn't gotten to the Final Four yet, but you keep knocking on the door the way he's doing. I mean, he's averaged 27 wins a year for the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Average 27.
Yeah.
Average 13 conference wins a year for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
3 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite Eights, 2 SEC championships. He's put Duke out of the tournament. He's put Kentucky out of the tournament. I mean, he's put UCLA out of the tournament. I mean, a lot of the big hitters, Tennessee's been in the fight. And, I mean, that's what you ask for. Is you're saying, to me, in basketball, you're saying, put me in that, and one of these years, it's going to fall just right for me.
Mike Keith, the voice of the Vols, with us on 3HL. What do you think about this roster? Is this the kind of roster that's kind of been solidified now that can knock that door down with the 5-star and the transfers?
I think with Jacoby Gillespie at the point and Ament playing whatever he's going to play, he'll play whatever he wants.
He doesn't have to play down low.
He's not going to play down low.
Right.
I mean,
but a lot of places he would end up doing that.
The plan is, he's not going to play. He's not going to be a bad back to the basket player. You've got Akpara for that. You've got
Jalen
Carey for that. You've got Estrella has offensive skills.
Cade Phillips growing.
Cade Phillips can play more than one position. It's really an interesting group. I think who's going to be the backup point guard is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they've got to be able to find that person. But, I mean, it's a different – I could not have envisioned when they were eliminated by Houston, I could not have envisioned that they would have a better team next year over a 30-win team.
Yeah.
But on paper, they have a very real chance to be even better, largely because of getting a player like Ament.
Yeah.
And then Gillespie and then everything around them. Carey is a tremendous pickup.
I can't wait for him. Talk about a bully.
Ooh, I love it. I've been saying it when I first saw him play, and it was before playing Tennessee. So that's one of my favorite players in the league.
Well, and that was my problem with them against Houston. I texted one of my best friends the minute I saw the first 5-10 minutes of that game. I said, "We got a problem." Because it's like our guys are playing against a group of 35-year-old men.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those dudes were stout.
Yes.
Well, now you've got Carey. You've got Dwayne Brown, who, I mean, he may redshirt next year, but he's the best player in the state of Alabama. He's about 270. Phillips will bulk up some more.
Yeah.
Akpara will continue to get stronger in that program. I mean, they're not going to have to take any junk off anybody under the basket.
Not at all.
Neyland Stadium has sold out season tickets for the third year in a row. Fans are excited. Obviously, you have the quarterback situation, which we could talk about. But I want to hit you with this.
What
got
was
in
the
car.
quarterback situation?
We get to it. I got in the car, and I tuned into the orange and white game. And you did a masterful job of throwing it to Hubbs, throwing it to Swain, throwing it to Savage. And that broadcast, I know it was y'all's first deal live, was so good.
Well, thank you.
It was so great to hear.
Thank you. It was very different. We wanted it to be 4 dudes talking about ball.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be 4 people really getting into what the team's spring had looked like. The situation with Iamali Ava changed all of that, changed some of our course. And, what I was really happy about with the university is they were totally willing to let us go on and talk about it. They said, let's put the head coach on right at the start of the broadcast, and let's discuss it. And to me, that's important because I want the fan base to hear the real stuff. And we were already going to talk about, hey, who backs up Boo Carter at star, and what about our receiver depth, and what look at these running backs. This kid out of Murfreesboro he's something else, Morris, and all of the stories. But then that becomes the overriding story.
Yeah.
Because your returning starting quarterback is gone the day of the spring game, and we were allowed to discuss it and allowed to, get into how it affects the ball club and how it affects the depth. And that's what I respect about them in this job is they're like, look, we want to do stuff for the fans. And we know that's what the fans are going to talk about.
Yeah.
What did you think about Merklinger, McIntyre, Aguilar's coming in? I'm sure you've seen some tape on him, but
Sure.
what did you think about the young guys?
Merklinger had a good spring. He was better than I thought he was. George came on every week. Every week George got better.
You could see growth.
George is going to get there.
Yeah.
I think George has star written all over him. I'm going to be interested to see how fast it all comes for him. But George is so smart and so talented. Aguilar can run, which is a big deal. He doesn't take a lot of sacks, which is a big deal. He had won the UCLA job in 3 months over 7 other quarterbacks, which tells you that he's got ability and he's not afraid to compete. I like his experience. I like 24 starts. App is a quality football program. It's not the SEC, I know, but it is a quality football program.
Knock some big boys off in their day, boy.
Yeah, and they play real people.
Yep.
And so I think, we'll see. It's going to be a competition. It literally won't surprise me if any of the 3 win it. And I think George is in there. I think George will be in there and compete. It clearly was not too big for George.
Yeah.
What did you think about the wide receiver position?
Better than, I think, what it's getting credit for because of Travis Smith and Radarius Jackson. And I'm excited about Joakim Dotson, too. I think Dotson's going to be able to step in and help. Brazel, I think, will take a step forward. Brent Hubbs had a great article on Brazel today about the fact that, he's flushing last year and realizes he needs to go to a different level. They've got some folks. I mean, Mike Matthews can play. Braylon Staley can play. I think they're going to be okay. I also think they're going to be okay at receiver because I believe Tennessee is better at the tight end position than what they're given credit for. And they have some backs who can do different things. Sampson, for all his great rushing, Sampson fan, love him. Not really a big threat in the pass game. They've got some dudes who I think could do more things in the pass game this year as well. So my feeling is we're going to be all right on that.
Mike Keith, voice of the Vols. We've been told the coaches will arrive around 5:30. So we've got more 3HL coming up. You want to hang for another couple minutes?
Happy
all right.
to.
All right, Mike Keith with us as we broadcast live from Geodis Park. Big Orange Caravan. A lot of orange in the room. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Best announcement ever from Two Rivers Ford. It's all about employee pricing, and maybe you're thinking, okay, well, what does that have to do with me? Because you get it. Yeah, Two Rivers Ford offering employee pricing for absolutely everybody. So you're going to pay whatever they pay on almost every new Ford on that lot. And at Two Rivers Ford, what you see, always what you get. They don't do things like add in service packages to make the price of the vehicle go up. Nope. Upfront, honest, every single time. That is Two Rivers Ford, and now they're offering you employee pricing. No better time to buy American and no better dealership than Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, home of the non-commissioned sales team, and I am here to tell you that they really are there just to help you. I still text my salespeople over at Two Rivers Ford when I have questions about my truck. They're the best. They'll take care of you. And now it's home of employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. That's Two Rivers Ford. Go see them, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
3HL 104.5 The Zone, Big Orange Caravan going on at Geodis Park. There is a lot of orange in this room. Mike Keith, good to see. You guys were in Memphis yesterday, Nashville today, Tri-Cities tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Tri-Cities.
Yeah, that's
Kingsport, Tennessee. I haven't been to Kingsport in a long time.
what a great area. I've got relatives that are from Bulls Gap.
Yep. I have relatives from Kingsport and from Big Stone Gap,
Big
Virginia.
Stone Gap.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Everything got a gap in it.
But you know what's
Everything.
funny is now we can only really go 3 places a year because of the coach's recruiting schedule. They can't, and they had to go back to the office today and work before they got on the plane and flew out. They can't just get on the bus and be gone now because the recruiting calendar never ends.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's going to change in a few years. But how it is right now, it is, there are almost no breaks.
We talked about men's basketball and football. Let's hit on women's basketball and what a transformation to be able to implement such a dramatically different system, win 24 games, go to the Sweet 16, have a baby. Kim Caldwell had a year.
She's had a year, and she's had a since year as well. Her portal class was ranked by ESPN today as the best portal class in women's basketball.
Crazy.
That's after having the #1 recruiting class or #2 recruiting class with 3 parade, McDonald's, whatever you want to call them, All-Americans. Right now, she's going to feature a roster for 25-26 that has 8 players who were top 30 recruits when they came out of high school and 7 McDonald's All-Americans. So she's upgraded the talent very dramatically. What she did on the court was impressive. I think what she did off the court was just as impressive.
Slay shaking his head.
Dude, like I said,
it's incredible.
You can't put that together in such a short time at a university where the footprint is so huge by Pat Summitt. So you have to be able to come in and manage that, go out there, show an exciting brand of basketball, have players understand your style is going to work for you, and they buy in, and recruits understand that when they come in, the players are selling the program.
Don't you think, though, the
In
fact
1 year.
In 1 year.
She's 2 years removed from D2.
Yes.
And she was coaching Division II basketball. And what an inspired hire Danny White made in her because of not only the style of play and her personality, but she has admitted that it was a little more overwhelming, the whole Tennessee thing and the way people follow women's basketball at
Yeah,
Tennessee,
it's different.
than she even thought. Maybe it was actually better that she didn't come into it with, and I'm sure in her mind she had expectations.
Right.
But she didn't exactly know.
Yeah.
She didn't grow up around here.
Right.
She didn't grow up around this program. She'd seen it from afar. And I just wonder if that wonder, if you will.
Yeah.
I wonder if the wonder is something that worked to her advantage in year 1.
That's an interesting point.
Because she
Yeah.
just went out and coached the ball team without fear.
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't
Well,
no looking over the shoulder or anything.
And Slade, to your point, we've talked about this. Getting today's athlete to buy into you're subbing in and out every couple minutes, and we're going to play 10 players, and a lot of these players want to be the player and want to play 38 minutes, and that's just not what's going to happen in this system.
No, and that's where you got to give her credit to, and not only her, but I think something that you got to mention, as we saw Coach Clark take the job at Rod Clark for the men's basketball, take the job in Indiana as assistant. But man, the staff that these coaches put together, these are as much as we see right there walking the sidelines in football and basketball, Coach Caldwell, Coach Barnes, so forth and so on, Coach Heupel, the staff behind the scenes.
Well,
This is it.
whomever it was that put in her mind, you've got to go out and get 2 top-notch SEC assistants.
Yes.
Whether that was herself, whether that was her husband, whether that was her agent, whether that was Danny White, or maybe all of the above. I have no idea. But that was brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. Because those 2 people are both talked about as future head coaches in this league, and she went out and got that kind of talent so that those guys could come in and say, okay, We need people who look like this, who play like this. 10 of her players, 10 of her 14 right now are 6 feet or taller. 5 of them are 6'2" or taller. And they can all play away from the basket, too. They can do the up and
run
down.
up and down the floor.
Yeah, they can do the up and down, and they can play defense. I mean, it's really.
I love it.
She's something else. I'm a huge fan, and I think she's going to be wildly successful. Again, Rick Barnes said it last night at Memphis that she's the most inspired hire he has ever seen from an athletic director to go get her. And I totally get it.
You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch, please. Our friend Blair Durham in here. He said he's going to miss you on Sundays, Mike.
Thank you.
He's very happy for you in this opportunity.
Thank you, Blair. I appreciate that.
We are as well.
I enjoy him on television as well.
Yeah, get you in one of those commercials.
I've been trying to
Chasing
sneak
the
him since I was little, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Tell him, Blair.
Trying to get a check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, it's good to
Blair's a
see
good
you,
dude.
man. Congratulations, and we love it for you, bro.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I hope you can tell I'm having fun.
You are definitely having fun, as are we. All right, coaches are going to start meandering in here momentarily. We'll put them all on. 3HL1045 The Zone.
All right, y'all, parents, I need y'all to listen up real clear, real clear. I'm talking about you need this opportunity. Quit doing other things. Listen to me. You won't regret it. VerticalGyms.com. That's where you need to head to for the website. Now, Vertical Gyms is the place to sharpen your skills, grow your game, and rise above the rim. That's right. The training is there. 2328 Jackson Downs Boulevard, right here in Nashville. Who is Vertical Gyms, you ask? They are an athlete-first culture focused on community, offering a comprehensive approach to athletes' development, which is so key in today. May 3rd, 9 a.m. is the ribbon cutting. It is the cutting. Come see me. I'll be right there from 8:30 to 10:30. So come on through. Bring your game. Bring your balls. Bring your posters. Whatever you want signed. You want me to drop a little nugget in your ear about some game? I got that for you. Come on out to Vertical Gyms and visit us. From 9 a.m. is the ribbon cutting. You got to be there. 2328 Jackson Downs Road. Vertical Gyms. Hey, rise above the rim.
Mother's Day is coming up. Let me tell you what we got both of our grandmas in our family. Aura Frames. Yes, it is the best digital photo frame named by Wirecutter, by the way, featured in a ton of different guides. And it's so easy to set up. Takes about 2 minutes. And it's the perfect gift. Free unlimited storage, videos, photos. Invite as many people as you want to a frame. Aura with a great deal for Mother's Day. Listeners, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. Get $35 off, plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com. Use promo code ZONE. Terms and conditions apply.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Broadcasted live from the Big Orange Caravan. Josh Heupel has entered the building with his orange and white Jordans.
Should have put him straight. See, when you walk in like that, we should have put him straight in the boom boom room because he thinks it's a game. But who wants to play a game?
I don't know, but
not about
what's
the
up, Bill?
games.
Congrats on the sports information deal. That was incredible and well deserved. Dawn Davenport will be back on Monday. She is broadcasting for ESPN2 with the beach volleyball, college beach volleyball going on at Gulf Shores, Alabama. Josh Heupel, coach of the Tennessee Volunteer Football Team, joins us now. What's up, man?
Where's the better part of this trio
Right?
today?
I'm surprised they let us do the show.
You talk about a disappointment.
Tell you what, boy, I'm telling you.
This is how we start. You've been around Rick Barnes too long, Josh.
Like, come on, man.
What about the boom boom room? You ready for that?
No, don't even get him going on that. Don't even get, because guess what? I'm saving that for SEC Media Day because I got my team.
Okay.
My crack team, my crack research
Your
team.
team is on
they doing
crack.
some real research. I'm
They're
getting
going
down
deep.
to.
Don't go too old school on me. I'll be in trouble.
I'm taking just about 98, 97 somewhere.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing great. Great to be here in Mid-State. Got a chance to see some of the fans on the way in. Looking forward to tonight, and so it's good to be here.
You guys have won 30 games in the last 3 years. Tennessee has not done that in football since 1998-2000. I can't believe you're headed into year 5, but are you on track as to kind of where you planned for this program to be, having gone to the playoff last year and still moving forward?
Love what our players and staff have built from the day we got there. We've never put a ceiling on what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And I think that was part of the buy-in from our players right away as we transitioned in. At the end of the day, man, we're here to go win championships, and that's what we're focused on moving forward.
Obviously, the Nico Iamaleava situation. I'm just curious from your point of view in today's world of college football with all of the transition and everything. How surprised were you with the way that all played out and that he's no longer on that roster?
Well, let's start calling it the Joey Aguilar situation.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
End of the day, that's just the landscape. You're not going to keep everybody. You got opportunities to put your roster together. I feel like we got a team that's accountable, connected, works hard, competes hard, and we're built to win. Now we got to go earn it every single day, and we got some new pieces that, got to get onboarded here in the course of May. That's the nature of college football, and so we'll get ready and keep competing and keep growing.
One of the things that success breeds is being able to get guys to go to that next level. You didn't have to come in and hoot and holler and say, this is what we're going to do. Just go out here and watch the product, and we're going to put guys in the league. Watching this draft take place, guys being undrafted, but guys all getting an opportunity to sign. Got guys going in the first round year after year. What does that say, man, about your program?
It talks to the talent of the players, what we have from a coaching staff, from a scheme, the development of the player. That's off the field too, weight room, medical. Yeah. It takes everybody to help these guys go be their best, and we got elite people in the building that our players have built trust with. They know we have a clear roadmap for where they're at and where they need to get to go achieve their goals and dreams. It's one thing to have a dream, and then what's your roadmap to get there? And we do a great job of putting all those pieces together. And then at the end of the day, the player, the sacrifices that he's willing to make, the work that he's willing to put in, continue to dictate their flight. And there's nothing better as a coach, seeing guys have the opportunity to take the jump to the next level, to fulfill their dreams. I was in their shoes at one time too, and you want that, and we want that for our guys. And it's fun to sit back, watch our guys get drafted, and then see the success of those guys. Yeah. During training camp, as guys get started and throughout the course of the season, we try to pull clips of guys that are making big-time plays in games, and the journey that they're on the flip side of it too. And because of the guys, they're able to know those guys, see the traits that are allowing them to make a career out of it versus it just being a job. They're in and out of it, and there's a big difference.
Josh Heupel with us on 3HL. You mentioned the young guys at quarterback. What did you see from Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre on the scene now? And you mentioned Joey Aguilar. What do you like about the player there?
Yeah, the two guys that were with us, George is first-time enrollee, physically making some of the gains that he needs to for him to be ready to compete this coming season. He's super bright, grew throughout the course of spring ball, fundamentals, technique. When he got to a game day-like situation, spring game, scrimmages, he was willing to cut it loose and go play and play the next play, too. It's never going to be perfect. And, Merck's done a great job in, essentially, 15, 16 months of really growing in the understanding and command of what we're doing offensively, fundamentally, continuing to grow to be consistent with his delivery of the ball, decision-making. Where we're at and where we need to be next fall, those are two different things. Mm-hmm. They got to put in the work, and that's true of Joey when he gets here, too.
I know we have limited time with you, obviously, but a lot of orange in here, man.
This has gone really quick.
Yeah. No boom boom room this time.
That's because I let him off the hook right now.
Right.
It's all right.
Nothing better than being in mid-state and seeing a bunch of orange.
Love it, man. Good to see you. We'll visit again.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Go Big Orange.
There's Josh Heupel, Tennessee football coach, and again, 30 wins in the last 3 years for this group, and they haven't done that since 1998 and 2000. Kim Caldwell is going to be next at the table as the Lady Vols basketball coach is rolling in here. And, man, the attention here, the love here, the cheerleaders are here, Smokey's here, the band is here, and Kim Caldwell is here, Lady Vol basketball coach. Kim, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well. So, you implement a completely different system than what was here previous. You win 24 games, you go to Sweet 16, and you have a baby. That's a hell of a year, man.
It was quite the year, I will say.
How did you keep it going? And I'm curious with the challenge of Connor, the baby aspect of this, and running a high-profile program. How challenging was that?
Yeah, I don't really recommend doing it that way.
Out of season next time, maybe?
Yeah, we'll try to time it a little bit better, God willing, next time. It was a blur, really, but we had a great staff. Our players were great from the moment we announced our pregnancy. They knew they were going to have to step up for a little bit of the season, and I think they did that.
Jenna did a great job down in Texas, man.
No question. Yeah, no question. Fault for that. This is what I want to ask you. Your team does a terrific job of recruiting itself, your players taking care of it. But speak about your staff, because what you've put together in this portal and also with this freshman class that's walking in, this hasn't been seen in quite some time right here in Tennessee. So with you coming in, was this your expectation?
Yeah, I mean, now I guess we got to find out if I can coach. Now that we got the talent, we got no excuse anymore. Yeah, I will say our team does a phenomenal job recruiting.
Yeah.
Anytime a player comes to campus, they do a good job of just letting their personality shine,
Right.
letting them be themselves. And our staff has really hit the ground running. I think that's the most important thing. That was the biggest learning curve for me. It's coming to this level. I didn't have ties. I hadn't been watching people at this level. And so making sure that we had the right staff that already had relationships with players and could hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slade mentioned the recruiting came out today. Number one portal class, number two, and number one, depending on the site, high school recruiting class. Have you been surprised at how accepting of the message it's been this quickly in?
Yeah, I am incredibly grateful to our freshman class because they all really committed before we were proven. So they saw the vision. They came and they signed for a coach who had a different background, who was getting a lot of flack, who hadn't been here, was basically a nobody. And those relationships had to be quick. They weren't situations where we had recruited them for years and years and years because we had just gotten the job. So they really understood what we were selling, and they bought in before we even really got deep into play. They signed up for it, which will always mean something to me.
Up and down the floor, intense, all go all the time.
Let it fly.
Let it fly.
Let it fly.
I'm curious, General Nealon used to talk about how we want the games to be easier than the practices. I can't imagine how intense your practices are for them to be able to do that on game night.
It's about 2.5 hours of up and down. and our entire practice is up and down. So if we're doing one-on-one, it's full court. If we're doing two-on-one, it's full court. If we're doing three-on-three, it's full court. So game days are really kind of their off day.
Slay, your group would have liked that.
Yeah, we would have loved that, but Coach just made my knees hurt a little bit talking about that right there. Just had PTSD about that. But this is a little snort too right there.
Snort.
All kind of stuff going on with that. But Coach, now moving forward, when you look back on your year, what was your biggest moment? Do you think that you can put your finger on one of those that you had to take a deep breath like, all right, we're on the right track?
Yeah, I think when we won at Ohio State and made it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Walked them down.
Yeah, our wheels were falling off a little bit there towards the end, and we really had to regroup.
Yeah.
I mean, we really had to dial it back in, and I think the players did a great job of that. And so that was kind of a breath of like, all right, like no matter what happens next, we can build off of this.
Love it.
I read where you've said that, you'll get together with the assistant coaches before you address your team in a timeout, and you'll go over there and they're already talking about exactly what you're about to tell them. That's got to mean a lot to you. That's a complete understanding of time, moment, what we're doing.
Yeah, and it took us a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a new head coach and you have 15 new players that have never played for this person, it takes a long time to get on the same page. And so we finally did it. And so that's one thing I'm really excited about next season is our core is coming back. We didn't lose any productive players to the portal. So they should already know what the standard is, and we should have more coaches on the floor from the jump.
How big was that UConn win?
That was a good one.
Solid win.
What did Gino say to you after?
I don't remember. I was trying real hard not to smile. I was trying to act cool and collected going through the handshake line.
I mean, that was a hell of a team you beat that day.
It was.
Sure.
It was.
Yeah. I am glad, in terms of you having the baby, that Kim Mulkey did not deliver the baby on the floor. I'm glad that we were there.
I'm not sure she was qualified.
But she would have done it. She would have tried.
She would have definitely done it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned going into to year two. How much of what we saw with regard to your plan in terms of gameplay is what it'll be? Or are you adding things? Could you get all of it in?
Yeah, I think we can tweak a few things here and there. I think we'll have some better motors on the team. People will be able to play a little bit longer minutes. I'm hopeful. I mean, we pressed for 40 minutes, and we were like number 11th in the country in steals, which is not
Like
great.
how, yeah.
So
Yeah, you did set the school record, like,
yeah, but I mean,
right at the beginning of the
if
season.
we're the only team in the country that's pressing that much, and we're that low in steals, like we need to be getting more steals. We need to have some dogs out there that'll go get the ball.
How has this guy been to you, Rick Barnes?
Nonstop.
Nonstop.
Always on it.
Does he give you crap like he does everybody else?
Absolutely.
Kim, it's good to see you. Congrats on all the success and the birth of your baby.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's Kim Caldwell, Lady Vols basketball coach. Rick Barnes coming up to the table now. Thank you. Very good. Made your knees hurt, huh?
Dude, like 2-on-1, 1-on-1, full court, like that's. Listen, as we get the OG, the veteran walking up, he understands my type of game. We need to get this to a half court set. Let's get this down and break it down in quarters. We're gonna play on the first third of the side of the floor. All this running up and down at this age, I don't need to do that.
He's
Coach.
been affected by Kim Mulkey talking about her transition game and her Florida, baseline to baseline game.
Practice, Coach.
He said,
practice.
yeah, she said 2.5 hours. He said it's making my knees hurt.
First of all, he couldn't do one of her practices. He couldn't do it, believe me. I watched her practice.
Yeah.
She practices as hard as any team I've ever seen, men or women. So the Slay Man?
Yeah, they know, Coach. I know what a Gatorade is. And the trash can, Coach. I'm all right.
No, the cramps.
Yeah,
The cramps.
put me on the bike.
Let's start there with Kim. How impressed were you with the job that she and her staff and her players did this year?
Really impressed because, one, I think it's one of the greatest hires ever.
Yes.
You think about the job being what it is, one of, obviously, arguably the best. And for Danny to go through the process, and in the end, he said that Kim got the job because of the interview. She was very calm, assured of what she was doing and how she wanted to play, and he said it really intrigued him. And I will tell you without question, nobody in the country, men or women, ran more than our women's basketball team last year in the offseason. Nobody. They were on the track. They were everywhere.
It's going to be fun to watch the year one to year two jump. And she's got players coming too.
Different players, more players. But, she would tell you that she had a group that did buy in. And I do think her style caught people off guard. I can tell you, late in games, you saw where their conditioning wore down people.
It
did wear down people.
Zakai was certainly a special player for Tennessee. He's been through so much. Spectacular career, incredible person. I'm curious what it means to you to have been the coach that has been there for this part of his journey.
You know, it's really one of the great stories when you think about he was almost to a point he was going to give it up because I think a couple schools in New York, maybe Wright or Marist, St. Peter's had maybe offered him a scholarship. But he didn't want to do that because if you know him, as we do now, he had a much higher plan for himself. And what really happened, we had a scholarship, and we were looking to maybe sign a project with a post guy because we've always kind of done that. And knowing that Kennedy, when he was coming in, and he had made it clear that he wanted to be one and done, and just within a week, I said to our coaches, instead of signing a big guy, let's get a point guard that we think can, so we don't have to start over again next year. And it was the last week of recruiting at Augusta, and just so happened the game I won, I mean, he just put on a show, but he was really more of a shooting guard. He really wasn't a point guard.
Yeah, the highlights of him scoring it.
And then he came in, and I kid about it. I said after a week, I thought we should redshirt Kennedy.
Yeah.
You know? And because Zakai came to redshirt.
Right.
He was coming to redshirt.
Right.
But after a week, we knew we couldn't redshirt him. He ended up playing 20 minutes. You know, in practice, you're always trying to get, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, you want to get to a 10. Of all the guys we've ever coached, he probably got closer to a 10 every day than any player we've ever coached.
That's tough.
And but the way you see him play, that's how he practiced.
Coach, you're moving forward. The way the basketball world is, it just goes round and round. It don't stop. It don't wait for nobody. But you have an opportunity now to walk into this season with a full, and this is my bias, a full front court. The depth right there, and different guys right there. You can throw a bully out there in Jalen Carey, who was one of my favorites in the SEC. Estrella coming back. Cade, the growth that he had. I'm not sure in your tenure, outside of Kyle Alexander, I saw somebody catch on so quick and make a jump like Felix Okpara did towards the end of the Coach, he wasn't making like a 3-foot hook at the beginning of the season. Y'all were going to him down the stretch of games to end it.
I think we'll be able, I'm with you. I think our depth there, and you throw in Dwayne Brown from
the big fella coming from Alabama.
He's not as big as Jalen, but he's big.
Yeah.
And I think Jalen gives us something that we really haven't had since Grant.
Yes.
Jalen can play both inside and out. You know, he knows how to pass. He knows how to play. And Cade Phillips is a guy that, believe it or not, we're trying to move him to the perimeter.
Right, okay.
This whole off season, we're trying to work him out there because, one, defensively, because we think he can guard length and do some things.
Yep.
I think what's going to help him, each other with he and Nate Ament.
Yes.
They're going to be
battling each other.
Yeah.
Iron sharp
and
iron.
Cade wants to do it. You know, Cade hadn't been playing basketball that long. You know, he was a football player, and so we're excited about that. You know, Bishop, I thought the biggest thing that happened in the offseason for us that people aren't talking about is every guy that could come back came back. And you know how that is.
Retention.
The guys in your program are the guys that have been there. They're going to have to teach these other guys coming in. Jacoby Gillespie wanted to come back home, Tennessee, a great get. Our two biggest needs, when we went into the portal, we wanted a point guard and a guy just like Jalen Carey. That's what we wanted. And when we got those, we just said, now we just got to be selective, be careful, and just fill in around it. But we're going to continue to recruit high school players. We're excited about those guys. But, again, I'm excited about the guys we have coming back.
I'm excited about Amari Evans. That's a guy that because he signed early and committed early. A lot of people have forgotten with Ament coming in.
Yeah,
boy, I think he can be something.
You know what? He's got that mindset. You know, he's got a Jemiah Meshack kind of mindset where he wants to get after people.
Saw Knoxville News Sentinel today said Ament was the highest rated player ever to come to Tennessee. How excited are you about him? What does his game give you?
You know, he's a perimeter player at 6'10". You know, he's a guy that is very versatile. You're going to look at him. He's thin, and everybody's going to look at that. And he's like Wambi at
Wembanyama.
He's like that. But he knows how to play there. And what I love about him is really what you're talking about, our front line. He's got some bouncers to take care of him. You know,
Yep.
that can do that, gonna get him
you
open.
gotta help, yeah.
But you can put him anywhere. You can put him in ball screens. You can play him off. You can do anything you want to do with him because of his versatility.
A guy he reminds me of, and the nation doesn't know of him yet. I had an opportunity to watch him, Bob Miller. This young man right here, 7-footer. Woo! Hey man, he got some of him in him, but really more polished on the perimeter. So
before I knew much about Ament, I saw the 6'10", and then I put in like all of his highlight tape, started watching, and there were a lot of threes going up.
Oh, he can shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, what he'll have to do. You know what? When we had Kevin Durant, because of the slighter frame, and you're counting on him, you know how it is. Everybody's going to try to beat him up, get physical with him. But they tried to do that all summer. You watched him in the summer league. Everybody went out trying to push on him to do this and do that.
Yeah.
It didn't affect him. He did what he does. And the thing, he knows how to play. Even if you watched him in these all-star games, he wasn't a guy that said, I got to go out and show what I can do. He always tried to make the right play. And that's why we were, from the get-go, he was the number one guy that we wanted. And I feel he's the number one guy in the class.
Yeah.
And because of everything about him, and as good a basketball player he is, he's a better person.
What keeps driving you at this point? Where do you find the energy at this point?
Well,
every year.
There's two things. I love being around the young people and help them go. I've got to live my dream, and I want them to be able to do that. Obviously, from a program standpoint, we want to be the last team standing on Monday, but I love going into gym, practicing, and if I lose that part of it, it's time to go. But I really love being around guys that are hungry, motivated, want to work, because all of them think they do, but they don't all work.
No, they don't.
But they think they do.
Yes, they do.
And when you get a group that really goes at it, and we had that this year.
Yeah.
We had that this year, a group of guys that really went at it, and it's fun being with them because you just want to keep pushing the button to see how much higher you can get them.
We mentioned Sakai. We need to talk about Meshack. That guy was everywhere on the floor, and he would consistently bait people into passes, and then he would get there. I mean, just an incredible player to watch.
Great hips. Yeah, his hip movement.
Like a cornerback?
Yeah,
sort of?
unbelievable. And you know what? I finally felt it's taken him 4 years for people to recognize what he does in terms of impact. You could just go back to the Alabama game. Think about it. Scored the bucket. Got a after Chav's a three-point play, but got the offensive rebound. Then went down. He's the guy that stole the ball.
Yep.
That forced the 5-second, and then made the three. But I love him because he's one of the greatest people you'll ever be around. What he did off the court, I'm not sure a lot of people know about, but he'd start these food drives, and he won the Torchbearer Award, which is the highest award you can get. And he represents you the way you want him to. And I do think he became a star in his role. And I think that's going to give him a chance to continue to play at a high level.
Love it.
I saw when I jumped out there in December and told everybody, this is going to be the first time y'all going to see two guys on the same team split the Defensive Player of the Year Defensive Player of the Year award, and it almost happened, Coach. I was almost Stradamus.
Well, you know what happens on that is that we're allowed to vote for a couple guys, but if we're not careful, we'll put them in a situation they split votes, and none of them wins.
Yeah, see, that's why he was supposed to win SEC. He was supposed to win national.
And you know what happens oftentimes outside of coaches, people are looking at stats. There's a lot of some players that come up with steals.
Yep.
But they don't really guard anybody.
No, you got to watch the game.
And they don't. But he guards, and he impacts winning at a very high level.
Fun team to watch, man. Appreciate you. Always good to see you, Coach Barnes.
Appreciate you.
Mike Keith is expecting you to give him crap on stage here in a minute.
Well, we played with him a little bit last night.
That's what he said. He's getting advice from bobbleheads now.
Here's what I told him last night. He's talking to Kim, and Kim made a comment that she hopes next year they're one of the best offensive, and he talked about all the players she's got coming. He said, well, and she said, I want to be one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And then he asked her another question. I said, wait a minute. Are you saying that? I said, you should have said to Kim, or you don't think you have a good shooting team. if you think you're going to get. You know, and he said, "You're right. I should ask her that."
Get the ball in the rim.
Yeah. Give him the nuggets along the way,
Yeah,
Coach.
I'm
You got to school
gonna
these young
help him,
fellas,
you know?
man.
He knows, though. When in doubt, look to the bobbleheads.
Yeah. Well, I told him last night. I gave him that little bobblehead of Bert and said they just wanted to make sure you knew you had big shoes to fill.
Yep,
I got one tonight of just Kessling that I'm gonna have Kim give to him and let him
There
know,
it is.
and let him know. We're gonna let him know. We're gonna let him know that
That's bubble wrapped.
That's Bob. That's Bob that says I'll always be looking over your shoulder. And then tomorrow I'm gonna make Josh give him one of Smokey. Congratulate him on his first Big Orange story.
A whole slew
love
of
it.
characters watching them.
Bobblehead.
Rick Barnes says he basketball. Thank you, Coach.
All right,
Good to
thank
see
you.
you, man.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, we'll be back. Here's what's going to happen. We are going to delay the start of the 3HL after party. We are going to talk with Danny White, Director of Athletics for the University of Tennessee, when we come back. So 3HL extended next on 104.5 The Zone. 3HL 104.5 The Zone, rolling into the 6 o'clock hour live. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. We are broadcasting live from Geodis Park. Transguard Premium suite level location here at Geodis Park. It is the Big Orange Caravan going on. We've heard from Mike Keith. We've heard from Josh Heupel. I loved his answer to the question that we had to ask about Nico's situation, and he said, well, really, it's the Joey Aguilar situation, which I thought was a great response.
That makes sense. I mean, when we got the opportunity to talk to Mike Keith, it was kind of similar to what he was saying. Like, you got to get out in front of it and let the team know we're moving on. It's who we have sitting right there in the saddle. That's what we're going to roll with.
And he hasn't done that much media, honestly, since then, so we had to ask, of course, and he knew, but that was a great answer. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay. Also, Kim Caldwell, man, she looked confident. For those that don't know, again, #1 portal class, #2 high school class coming in. She's got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in, which in totality on the roster next year will be 7 or 8, I think. So the upgrade on the roster will be immediately seen, right?
Automatically. Top 10 team without even seeing them be on the floor yet.
Didn't lose anyone in the portal, which means you're establishing a mature roster. And what's important there, and I when she was talking about that, I kept going back to what you said when you were playing. Like, you were the guys that kind of picked the recruits. This guy ain't going to fit.
No.
I think that's where she's headed with that group.
That's exactly what she's going to get. But that's what you also get to see when you get dominant athletes that are used to having that main stage and they start to come together. All right, now we can start picking people. Man, we need you to get in. We need this type of person. So it's a little easier to find. But hey, man, I'm excited about it. That's some great energy right there, man.
We talked to Rick Barnes, and I think he likes that roster too, Slay.
Yes. Loves it.
It's been put together officially now, and he likes that roster too.
And I was going to tell him, man, one thing about it, when you walked in, what's up, Mr. White?
Danny White
sitting down. But when Rick Barnes, when they started to put that together, after the season ended, I was sitting there like watching everybody else get active and put their rosters together a little earlier. Like, oh, man, this ain't what I'm looking for. And lo and behold, here comes the roster. And you start to see #1 player.
Yeah.
You start to see Jacoby Gillespie, getting those guys.
And how it all kind of mingles together.
Beautiful to watch. So beautiful
So much success in all the sports. Tennessee Athletics Director Danny White sits down at the table with us live here at the Big Orange Caravan at Geodis Park in Nashville. Danny, what's up? How are you?
Not much. Sorry I'm late, guys. I hate to be late for the Boom Boom Room.
Everybody wants in the Boom Boom Room until they don't want it in the Boom Boom Room.
They want to have a good time in there. That's why. When you're having this kind of good time, success and everything, why wouldn't you want to go in the Boom Boom Room?
No question. I was excited about getting over here.
Yes.
National champions in baseball, Elite 8, Sweet 16, and basketball, football in the college football playoff, softball, ranked #1 recently. Guys are rolling.
We do. Yeah, it's exciting to see across the board to have every team in the postseason last year, first time in school history.
That's crazy. And when you say every team, it's 20 programs.
20 programs, all in the postseason. 11 finished in the top 10. Baseball won the Natty. And this year, we're the only school in the country with playoff. Both basketballs and Sweet 16 are better. Obviously, men made it to Elite 8. And still going. We got, I think it's 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams in the top 10 right now. Another handful in the top 25 spring sports.
That's beautiful right there, man. So, okay, around the university, around the sports, though, so much taking place as far as the growth, adding on. Like, every year we talk to you is something else that we're looking forward to. What are we looking forward to now?
Yeah, starting on the academic side of the house. You know, it's a great example of how athletics can be a tremendous marketing arm, a front porch for a university. Our applications are knocking on the door of 70,000. That's triple what it was just a few short years ago. We're building dorms like crazy. There's cranes all over campus. We can't keep up with the demand. Everybody wants to come to Rocky Top.
Yes.
It's a great time to be involved. And then in athletics, we're still working on the $337 million Neyland Stadium renovation. Fans will see a huge improvement. This will be the biggest, most noticeable thing they've seen so far with the expanded South Concourse. Wow. It'll be quadruple the size. It'll really help getting people in and out of the building. Amenities, concessions, restroom experience will be way better than it's been. I'm really excited about our fans getting that experience this year.
You hear what he just said? So I went to a concert last night.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a guy that grades facilities when it comes to, you got to pay the water bill and things of that nature in these facilities. Went to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, this is pretty good, like a 7.5, 8 right here.
Yeah.
That's
You're talking
pretty high
about the
on my
bathroom,
scale.
the restroom.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bathroom.
Yeah.
So for you to say that, I'm telling you, it means something to people, man, to be able to go in there, cleanliness, get on in and get on out. I
No
like
question.
it. I love
How
it.
much do you value nostalgia? Because we're going to need a heavy weight on nostalgia in Neyland Stadium. It's a 100-year-old building.
Yes,
There's only so much we can do.
Yeah, this is very true. But you get to see it. And the people, that's all we know anyway, man. That's all we know, baby.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
People are going to love the new baseball stadium.
Yes.
Yesterday or Monday, I should say, they're tearing down the video board in the arena. Food City Center will have an NBA level arena. It'll be a video board, huge. It'll be phenomenal. New sound system. We're really trying to pour into our fan experience. You see them out here today. Our fans are the best in the country.
Love it.
You've kind of outlined a lot of your responsibilities, which makes me think about drinking water through a fire hose. But from an NIL standpoint and all of that world, how challenging is that from your perspective? Do you get involved in that stuff?
I do, yeah. It's a moving target. It's been a challenge. I think we need organization around player compensation, whatever you want to call it. We're so hesitant to call it compensation. I don't know why. I call it talent acquisition, talent retention. I mean, the kids are getting a piece of the pie,
Yes.
and they always should have. I think it's great, but we got to have some organization around it. Every pro sport in our country has organization around it. And we have some work to do. The House lawsuit and the settlement maybe can help with some of that, but it has been a challenge. I feel like we're growing our resources so quickly because of our fans, and I know that we'll be as competitive as anybody in the country because I know what our budget looks like compared to everybody else, and we're top 3 in the country in overall revenue. I expect our revenue numbers will hit 280 this year. That number was 140 4 years ago.
Wow.
And that's Tennessee fans. That's
Yes.
sold out Neyland Stadium with a waiting list of 23,000.
How about
That's
that?
sold out men's basketball, sold out baseball, sold out softball. Nobody in the country can say that.
Yes, I love that.
So it's such a new world still, and as you said, there needs to be some tightening of parameters. But I'm curious, do you pay attention to, like, if there's a high-profile kid that wants to renegotiate, and then it works out or doesn't work out, it makes national news, like, do you pay attention to stories around and see how things are handled, or do you hear from your colleagues from around the country to kind of gauge how you handle a specific situation?
Sometimes. So I talk to the other ADs in our league and across the country, and we're all dealing with the same set of issues, so trying to work together. Our coaches talk to their colleagues in the conference too, but in terms of specific players that our coaches might be looking at, whether they come or not, I don't get involved in that. I'm more on the business side of it and making sure that we're resourcing our programs at an elite level. We're all excited about the kind of success we're having, and it's elite success. Well, it has to be resourced that way.
Yeah. Who was I had an opportunity during the NCAA tournament to sit with Chancellor Plowman, and I'm not sure, Danny, everybody understands her fire.
Oh, she's phenomenal. I can't keep up with her.
That's what I was going to say, Danny. How are you doing that? But speak to her involvement in it and how y'all are in lockstep.
Yeah, she's incredibly supportive. A former business school dean, and runs our institution from an academic standpoint in all the right ways, but also has that business acumen, which I love, because in athletics, we operate a lot like the private sector. We need to go interact with the community, generate our own revenue, and since the day she hired me, she's been just unbelievably supportive. She's a leader with the SEC presidents and chancellors, just a phenomenal boss. I couldn't be more thrilled.
How much does it help Tennessee athletics to have you guys in your roles for so long together, working together from president to chancellor to AD?
Continuity. I think continuity is king, and that's...
And Tennessee lacked that for so long.
No question. We have a great president and Randy Boyd, great board chair, and John Compton. And we talk about that on our coaching staffs, especially in a sport like football where the roster is so big. Josh has been able to have great continuity. Rick's been able to have great continuity. Yes. I think that really helped. People just work better and more efficiently the more they get to know each other and understand roles. And so it's been just a great ride, and I hope they all stay in their roles for a long time and let us keep doing what we do.
Danny White, Tennessee Athletics Director, appreciate you sitting down, man. This is going to be a fun night here at Geodis Park.
No question.
Can you keep Coach Barnes in line, man? Don't let him.
Can't. It's impossible.
Nobody
He's
can.
going to hijack the stage. He did last night in Memphis. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. He's already got something planned for Mike Keith again. I know what happened last night. But, yeah, Mike's going to get it tonight and tomorrow in the Tri-City. So it'll be fun. Thank you for being here.
No question. Thanks, guys.
There he is, Tennessee AD Danny White, 3HL, live into the 6 o'clock hour. Did we get a bump and pay for this, Lay?
I doubt it, but we do got a guy that can negotiate for us, baby.
That is definitely true. All right, 3HL After Party is coming up, and we appreciate everybody here with the University of Tennessee helping us out as we were able to get everybody on, and the people at Geodis Park. 3HL bingo card. Bite the sleeves off your shirt, Yorl. I'll finish this story later, Zeph. The sausage was thick. You got to listen to the show to understand what all is said and why.
If you know, you know.
We'll be back at it tomorrow. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you very much for including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
Good night. God bless. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya unless you were getting a shout out to Murphy Joe. Shout out to Tori and Joe Hunkapilla, man, bringing another little baby into the world, man. Murphy Joe, welcome to the family.
Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Visual Comfort or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.